Hello and welcome to yet another installment of Hearts of Bone by me, Dev. We don't have the full party here today. At the moment, we do have Waldorf playing as Parlish.
Hello.
We have Rose playing as Leloranel.
I'm used to being last. Why are you calling me the second one?
And Tutt
Hello.
playing as Autumn.
To make a long fucking story short, I put a whole bag of jelly beans.
Oh my
up
god,
my
stop.
ass.
Shut up.
How many times are you gonna start with that?
Throughout the entire fucking campaign.
Nice.
And there goes any
Yeah.
chance of monetization ever if we ever got the views.
I'm sorry. Last session was not monetizable.
Can you please
at
be
all.
more hashtag child friendly, please? Or
No.
family friendly, rather?
Family, yeah.
I mean,
family-friendly.
there's just no way.
Yeah, no, we've gone too far.
Guys, I just found a thing!
What
Did
did
what?
you find?
The roar of a snow leopard.
No.
Of course.
As follows.
Oh,
Aw.
that is adorable.
Oh, we're starting up the stream in a wholesome way. We're just gonna go right into
You see,
it.
you're bringing the jelly bean nonsense, and I'm bringing the cute animals.
Froglaw.
Oh my god.
So general announcements first off. I'm going to start looking at least now, trying to stream on Twitch or both Twitch and YouTube. So I'll have to see about that.
Yeah.
As well as that, Gabe Aprix will be joining soon-ish. I don't know how soon he's going to actually be because he's having food right now. And another thing is that Kowaitea, who was playing as Rafaela, will no longer be joining these sessions in her normal manner. She's currently
We'll miss you, T.
she's currently started doing actual work and doesn't have the time to make the commitment to come here consistently. But I've let the door open so she can join at any time if she has the free time to do so.
More
Yay.
responsible than me.
Yep.
And she's only a year younger than me. Or at least I think so. I don't know.
I'm older than you. I think. Am I?
You're a month older than me.
Yeah,
Settle
maybe.
down.
Yes, I'm the older being.
Settle down, children.
Okay, Waldorf. Jesus
Whatever,
Christ.
Waldorf.
You
Waldorf,
bastard.
would you like for me to call you Dad?
Oh god, no, please don't go that way.
I would rather father.
Waldorf,
but
sorry,
sure.
there's only one
Father?
person I call Daddy.
Oh my god.
no.
Hey, sweetie.
Jesus
Speaking
Christ.
of,
No, I'm gonna. Okay, so last time when we were playing in Hearts of Bone,
I mean DM.
yeah, last time that we began, it was in the glass forest of the Wizard's Tower, meeting the strange kobolds that were locked inside.
Oh, my
After being led into their small and quaint village with all the other kobolds, they met the eldest of the kobolds, a very strange-looking kobold with a big beard. After that,
He's
the group found
cute.
that they could
That's
gain
strange.
passage from these kobolds to the next floor if they were to help them with a vile hunter that had been killing their kind for the past however many years they never really actually said. The party followed the hunter kobold Tab into the glassed forest with a wild magic surge, granting the group a stone golem. The group then moved into the forest where they were attacked by a drow elf and a displacer beast. With great struggle, the party was able to defeat the foe, but not without cost, as Tab had been killed in the chaos. When the creatures of
well,
the
not
floor
killed, but
died, it seemed they transformed into a page of one of the many books of the wizard's library. The party gathered the pages, and after finding a small trove of scavenged items, they returned to the small village of kobolds and gave Tab's page to the elder, showing him the pages of the hunter and his beast. With this, Art, the first kobold that they had met on the floor, led the party to the next doorway, where they met one of Art's friends. Art became embarrassed when some of the party members became afraid of him, as he was a smashed skeleton, the guardian of the next floor, which held magical items in display cases. With no stop leading them to the next door, they progressed on, finding the artifact they sought after, the box of gem chalks, and also, unexpectedly, the corpse of a long-dead wizard of the tower, who, with a sense of humor as surprising as his corpse, spooked the party when it was found that he was in fact living in some form of the word. It seemed that through some magical mistake on his part, he had made the wild magic zone that had brought life to things that held none, giving birth to the glassed forest and also the kobolds. The wizard gave the party a small key to retrieve items that they could no longer be used in this tower, and with the promise that he would be visited by the party, they left him alone, gathering the kobolds for a venture outside to join the party. Some kobolds wished to stay and safeguard their home, so Lorinel left the golem to protect them and exited the tower to the excitement of all around. The party became known as the first to conquer the Flustaden Wizard Tower and had their own forms of celebration, Autumn indulging in her charismatic nature, with Parlish adding his own commentary, Aprix drinking and writing any notes, and the Lorinel giving the chalks to Helder Vlam in return for a small clue to her tribesmen. Then treating the kobolds to their first taste of food, which, unfortunately, I'll have to bring up, mostly went to waste as the kobolds started vomiting up chunks of soggy paper and food, their tastes betraying them. They did make their own forms of recovery over the night and feel better in the morning. And before any of this, the party has decided their next move would be south for Cottlereach, a journey that would take far more time than their previous and would require many more stops to restock as they move along. With that, they went to sleep for the night.
This is sounding like a main quest.
And in the dead of night, the commotion of the evening, Rafaela slipped off in the dark and left the party to their renown. So,
Yeah, boy.
all of you please roll a d20.
Okay.
By the way, when the kobolds started getting sick, I snuggled them until they fell asleep and felt bad.
Imagine a person being allergic to the food, but just they have to eat it. They just have to.
No, they don't have to eat it. I didn't force
I have
them.
to.
I didn't know.
Oh shit!
Not what I
I
meant,
rolled it
Rose.
as myself.
What?
I meant people who are allergic to a food, but they want to eat it because it tastes good.
Oh, that was me today. I kind of ate a cinnamon roll.
What are you allergic to?
I'm gluten free.
Oh,
no.
my God.
And I ate a cinnamon roll and my stomach hurt until like 2 hours ago.
Rose, I thought you were supposed to be the smart one.
I am.
That sounds
I'm
like
just...
something I'm supposed to do.
Listen,
Like,
I thought maybe, because it tastes really good, it wouldn't be that bad, but I was wrong.
oh my God.
This is where having no allergies comes into play.
Oh yes,
I
I
used to
know
think
that.
I had no allergies, and it turns out I'm allergic to like half of the food on the planet. Which is fine.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't. It's fine. My stomach just doesn't want to let me live. It's okay.
Sad days.
Oh my God.
Either way, as you are all enjoying your full night's rest, the
I
first of
snuggled the
you
kobolds.
to awaken is Lorinel in your little section with a bunch of kobolds all snuggled up to you. Some
My life is
others
complete.
are awake and exploring the room, looking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open my eyes and like observe them for a little bit, watch them look around, and try not to let them know that I'm awake, so I can just
Nice.
watch them.
In this small room, you see Com and Con both jumping around the place. Com and Cod, sorry. Jumping around the place, searching through the drawers and just looking around for stuff.
Oh, they're so cute.
There's a little metal holder for a candle, and Cod walks up to it, takes the candle out, and drops it on the floor, and then just takes the holder.
Funny story. I actually, sorry for the tangent, but
What are you, Parlish?
sorry. When I was like IRL, when I was a kid, I kind of went over to my aunt's house and did the exact same thing. I was like 5, and I saw that she had a bunch of cool stuff, so I kind of just started taking things. And my parents like didn't find me for like an hour, and they finally found me just with a hoard of stuff. They're like, Rose, what are you doing? I was like, it's nice. And they were like, Rose, you can't take it.
It's like that Vine. It's like, no, stranger danger. Ice cream.
Ice cream. Yeah.
That's you.
Anyway, I see. I see. What was it? It was Cod or Com? It was Com, wasn't it?
Cod was the one who took the holder.
Okay. Valarium is Art snuggled up to me, still asleep because he's a sweet boy.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna take him in one arm and like hold him like a little baby, like he is. And I'm gonna walk over to Cod and just sit right in front of her and look down at her like and just wait for her to put it back.
She reaches over to the pack on your side and puts it inside.
Valarium is gonna take it out of her bag, pick up the candle, put it back, put it on the stand, and then like give a little tap on the nose, like no. And then give her a little rub on the cheek.
Okay.
And she's gonna shake her head like, don't do that.
You can do that, yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
What do you do next? She just kind of sits there, like, staring up at you.
And give her a little pat on the head. She's cute. What's Com doing?
Com is holding a book that was in a drawer in a kind of sideways manner, letting the pages just fall downwards and then flipping it over and watching them fall down again.
They're so cute. Okay. She's gonna make like a little whistle, like we're ready to go. Let's go.
Okay. You walk over to Com?
Yeah.
Make
Well, no, I just turn over to her and yeah.
Could you make a perception check, please? You hear a shuffling and then a dunk behind you.
I turn around.
Candles on the floor. Holders nowhere to be seen.
Where's Cod?
Standing there with her hands behind her back. She's looking up at the corner of the room.
I'm gonna like pretend like I'm gonna look at her like at her left side, then I'm gonna like tap her right side to freak her out.
You're gonna do what?
Okay, so okay, never mind that. I guess that's too complicated. Yeah, I'm gonna tap her shoulder and like get her attention playing along.
Okay. She looks up at you.
I'm gonna say in draconic hands.
Her tail swishes a little bit. She pulls up her hands and puts them both in front of you. Nothing inside. Just waving in front of your face. Welcome, Gabe.
Hey, Gabe.
Hello.
I'm gonna.
It was
Good.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna.
Hey Dev, you wanna hear something cool?
Yes, I do.
I need to move real quick, and it's a little loud. Give me a second.
Yesterday, right? So I went over to my mate's place and we had a sleepover, so that's why I was also a bit late with my food also.
Nice.
So we went out and there was a bunch of like left out stuff on curbs next to houses, etc. And me and my friends were just looking for any kind of props we can take just for fun. And we had taken like some bikes, etc. There was a tricycle that we all took a photo on, and we all got like matching photos, so that's pretty cool. But then, when we're all starting to get bored and we're like, oh, we should probably go home. I'll go back to our mate's place. I found a fire extinguisher in a pile, and like, oh, yeah, this must be like dead. And my other friends think, oh yeah, it's dead. Let's just keep going. But me and my friend Max were like, you know what? Let's test it out. So I pick up the fire extinguisher and I make sure I aim it away from him because I'm not fucking dumb. And I press it down. I didn't realize how hard it would be to press, and it fucking bursts with this shit. It all comes out, and my friends that were walking off, they come back around and like, what the fuck was that? And we all just start running because it was so fucking loud.
Nice,
Well,
man.
You gonna play with it?
I started running with it because that was a very good prop.
Just keep
Do
with
you
you the
still have
fire
it?
extinguisher.
Yeah, it's at my mate's place. I don't know what he's done with it. He hid everything behind his uncle's truck.
Okay.
I need to ask him what he still has there because we got a broken computer, a kid's minion bag, the fire extinguisher. think
A
we got a
minion
bike.
bag? I'm sorry?
Yeah, we got that. My friend was wearing it the entire time, and now he has a rash where he was wearing it.
What a surprise.
So, yeah, so a bag. I think we got some. I don't know what else we got though. I knew we had some other stuff, but I'm really happy that I found the fire extinguisher, and I'm also very happy with the photos I got with me and my friends.
Nice.
Hell yeah, dude.
Right. So either way, it's people just waking up at this point after the night that they were enjoying their renown.
Yep.
Rose was in the place with Kobold. Kobolds are trying to steal stuff from the inn that she's staying at. And since she's gone, could you just roll a d20, please, Gabe?
I'm gonna fight you.
All right.
Bitch!
Gabe, you happen to be the next person to wake up. I've assumed that you and Waldorf are in the same room.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on.
rousing up from your bed, I can't say you got the most restful sleep, as Autumn's room is to the side of you. But you feel rested enough, and you see, across from you is Parlish, just snuggled up in bed, just sleeping his day away. What do you do?
I'm gonna quickly check my bag.
The frog is gone.
Oh no. No, not the frog. Here, I'll draw another.
I'm gonna be moving you guys
Hey,
to different
voice
boys,
spots.
I'm back in town.
Enjoy this.
No! Okay, perfect.
The voice keeps fucking cracking. Okay,
The frog appears.
I'll
Oh no.
I'll look at
I
the
messed
letter.
up. I messed up. No.
What are you doing?
look at that letter. That was like it had the notes from
How do
his
I
sister,
delete-
and it was
delete-
like meet me
delete?
here or something.
Yep.
I can't delete it. How do I delete it? No.
God damn it. God damn it, Tutt. Either way, it's the same letter. You've seen it before. You just start to study it more intently. You see like the differences in the general style of the writing that you can see here.
Mhm.
How the person who's written it is clearly writing in a different way than your sister did. Not a lot
Alright,
to be
cool.
gained that you haven't already gained from it. You have it all written down and all of that.
Alright, I'll just wake up Polish then.
Okay. So, Parlish, in the midst of your enjoyable little nap here, you start getting moved about and jostled, and you open up your eyes, and Aprix is standing above you.
I'm just gonna gather my stuff and go down to the bar.
I'll just follow him.
Just for flavor, Gabe, here's the stuff that you can just generally read in the note pages. Boop.
Okay.
That was a cute drawing. Thank you.
Look at
Hey,
that.
Tutt, if I were gay.
What? All right. So
God damn it.
Gabe and Waldorf, you're both roused from your slumber. You're awake. It's pretty quiet in the early hours of the morning. The beams of sunlight still pour in through cracks in windows.
Mhm.
What are you guys doing?
Oh, are we all awake now?
You're not awake, but Aprix and Parlish, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna go
I'm
sit
really-
down in the bar.
I'm really tempted to just knock on the next door.
Oh god, no.
I don't want to though.
It's gonna be a
I'm
fucking
tempted, but I
mess.
don't want to. Yeah,
Gonna
I'll go
see me
down.
butt ass naked.
I'll go
Oh
down.
my
with-
gosh.
I'll go down with
You're
Polish.
not getting too much then.
I mean,
Alright.
will he really see you if you're covered in women and men and others?
And cool.
I'm just covered in them. Like they are my.
I mean, you
blankets.
might be covered in something. I don't know what.
Stop it! Stop it! No.
So- You guys step out into the hallway. Just for you, Gabe, I can hear myself through you for a moment here.
Okay, I'm going to. Something fucked up with my mic yesterday, so I'm not sure what's going on with it.
Unfortunate.
Just try it.
Kick your mic.
Alright, how's it now? 'Cause it's really
1, 2, 3,
sounding
5.
Really bad.
I still hear myself very
Hello?
slightly.
Fuck. Okay, my mic's fucking up.
It's alright, it's alright. There we go, no more. So, you guys step into the hall, starting to move towards the stairway, and you see the door to Autumn's room open up.
Mm.
A man walks out. He's not wearing a shirt. He has what looks to be a towel wrapped around his waist.
Hot. Does
The
he
m-
look like you?
No. He steps out.
Dang it.
He looks at you guys, locks eyes for a second. Turns around, just starts walking at a quick pace down the stairs.
Oh my god.
So, as you guys head down the steps, assuming that you're not opening her door, at the bottom, at
They
the
don't wanna
tavern,
I'm good.
you see a fair amount of people all just lying about on the floor, passed out. A good solid 16 or so strewn about in different places in this fairly large tavern here.
Yeah, I pay no mind to that.
Bartenders just kind of enjoying a small chicken leg behind the counter with a stool.
Alright, I'm gonna walk up, sit at the bar, and be like, I need a drink and then a box that I left here last night.
Drink, like alcoholic? I mean, it's kind of early.
I mean, whatever you want to give me, I'm fine. I'll take coffee or ale or
Whatever I can give you.
I just need a drink.
Sure. You see him go over to a barrel at the far end and pour a small, like, golden liquid. Here you go.
I was gonna say something, but it's bad.
Say it. Say it. Say it.
Gamer girl pee.
Gross.
Say it. Oh my god. Shut up.
Can we move her like away?
Yeah. I don't
So,
deserve to
uh,
my face outside.
He places this single cup, not a mug, an actual glass of it, this just golden-y yellow liquid in front of you, and then just continues to eat his little chicken leg.
Can I get the box as well?
I mean, I've actually got a lot of boxes down here. Could you give me more specific?
Yeah, it's got like a brass trim on it,
Brass trim.
made of wood.
Okay.
Yeah, generally.
Starts searching through. He puts up one. It's got like a brass trim on the side. Doesn't look like your box though. It's a bit more, a little bit more ornate and more silvery on the outside. This one?
No,
Okay, one
doesn't
sec.
look like it.
Puts it back. You hear the slight jangling as it goes in. Oh, he reaches way into the back, down. Hear a couple of boxes being slid around, and he puts out a box. Looks like yours. That one?
Can I open it?
Yeah, you can open it.
Alright, I open it up.
Yeah, it's got your idol inside.
I'm gonna close that real quick and then yeah, that's the one.
Mm.
And I just pull it away.
Well, anything else I can do for you?
Nah, that'll be it. And I take
Alright.
a sip.
And it rips off a little bit more of the chicken leg and looks over at Aprix. How about you?
Oh no, I'm fine.
You good?
Yep.
Alright. He just goes back to eating. And I'll say at this point that Autumn upstairs, blearily with a pounding headache, starts to wake up.
I
Why
sort
does
of-
she? Why does her head hurt? All she got was like pussy, not drunk.
God damn it! Oh my god.
I may
Bearing-
be just.
So yeah,
I may be just
She got
country boy, but cornbread
absolutely
don't go
hammered,
sideways.
so I don't know who you mean.
No, I got hammered. Like,
She got
Oh,
super
you
hammered
did?
while
Okay,
I'm
never mind.
sorry.
yeah, I was drinking. Okay.
Oh,
And then
okay.
she
I was
went
like,
in-
"Does that-"
and then
Is
she
that
went into
normally
the
what
room
happens?
and had some more drink and something else that's in the corner of the room starting to stink up the place.
Oh.
Oh, yikes! What?
I look over in the corner.
It's kind of like a bag sitting there.
You got that pixie dust. That
With
angel
that,
dust.
there's about like 3 other people sleeping in the bed that you're in.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Like, am I in the middle of the bed or am I like at the edge?
3 people. There's 2 to your left and 1 to your right.
Okay.
The two,
So I'm gonna
the two
try
on
to
the
climb
two on
up.
the one side are like spooning each other. The other one's just kind of splayed out on their belly.
Okay.
Hey, that sounds
which
like
one's
prime
closer
territory.
to the wall, or is it like both sides are open?
It's a little early for that, isn't that, Tutt?
None of
I
these
guess I'm gonna go to my right if there's not a wall there, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to not wake up the other person.
Roll stealth, please.
Yes, sir.
Nice alien, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Yes, Illuminati. Hold on.
not
There you are.
confirmed.
God damn it. Alright.
I'm enjoying that you guys are just drawing stuff while this happens.
I can't draw a triangle. I'm retarded. Okay,
You
the
just-
second triangle looks so much
Triangle.
better. No, it's still round like a chip.
You just triangle.
I rolled stealth, by the
No.
way.
Oh my god.
Which is
Okay.
a little ball.
So, without too much issue, just some more chips down here. Without too much issue, you're able to just pull yourself around the side and get onto the floor with a slight creak. You look over, don't seem to be waking up. Starting to smell kind of like burnt wood and bits of what kind of smells like paint thinner.
Does it
Okay,
smell
I'm
like
gonna look in the bag.
fine cheese and what's another
Oh my
salty thing?
Yeah, you're looking
Oh,
in,
no,
looking in the
no
bag.
more. Yeah, I'm looking in the bag.
Solid half full. Mostly this strange kind of very dark looking bark that's really flaky.
Is that
Aw,
all?
That's what's in the
you're
bag,
eating
yeah.
some shrooms.
I'm just gonna leave that there. I don't want to
You're
mess with
eating shrooms.
Did you steal some of my bags?
Is there any other like bags or clothes that I could look through and
Well, there's certainly a lot of clothing littering the floor.
Okay, well I'm gonna loot the pockets in
Oh my god!
Hey.
Oh.
Give me a moment for that then.
I totally understand.
Yeah, I understand given the situation for her as well. Oh boy. Do-do-do. So first off, you see in the pile it's all mainly commoner clothes. There is one set of noble clothing.
Commoners.
Ooh.
The noble
Oh,
clothing,
okay.
however, during the night has been torn up. Something fierce.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's oh no.
You also, I mean, you don't have the greatest memory, but you're aware that you came into this room with maybe 4 or 5 people.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
kobold. Don't worry about the kobold.
Yeah, kobolds are just kind of hanging about.
I put them in another room.
Yeah, you did. You gave them in their own room. They're all in that room at the moment.
I wanted like the fucking face of fear. Just
No.
dear God.
So, amongst all of these clothes, could you roll me a d10, please?
Yep.
I can't draw the eye. I can never draw the eye.
Ooh, big number.
Big number. 8.
Yeah. Do-do-do-do.
Shut up. Oh my god.
So, looking through all of the different clothing, you find about 16 silver pieces scattered about.
Oh, yeah.
And as well as
Is
that,
that all?
you also find like a couple of just more or less like sentimental items.
Any jewelry or anything?
Well, let's see here.
Let us see.
She steals someone's wedding ring.
Oh shit. Well, I don't care. I can sell it.
Okay.
I don't think wedding rings were.
You find there's a nicely looking ornate needle for needlework in a very
Is
in
it
a
good
small
to
thing.
sell?
You don't know. It looks pretty nice.
No.
You find a knife with the insignia of a name of a family on it on the side. Like a pretty small, like, pocket knife kind of thing. And you also find a small little mechanical canary.
Mechanical canary. I
Yeah.
don't want that.
Dude, what?
You can take it.
Government.
Alright, I got the mechanical canary.
Alright? It's like, it's a type of sculpture made out of different bits of metal.
Cool. Alright, well, I'm going to leave the clothes where they were at and put on my clothes.
Alright?
And, then I'm going to sneakily go out.
Okay. Roll another stealth check, please.
Yep. Hey.
Hey. So, you just slowly make your way around all of the creaky wood, open the door, and just close it.
Hell
And-
yeah. Alright.
You're safe.
Yay. Okay, I'm gonna go check on the kobolds in the
I
other
roll a 1d2 to see if you're pregnant.
Right.
So, you go into the other room, open up the door, and you see like a couple of kobolds are snuggled into bed, and one is up and just looking through a book. It's like it's
Oh.
almost as big as his body, so you can't see his face behind it.
Okay, what's his color?
7.
Thank you. Anyways, I'm gonna go up to him and kind of tap him, or I'm gonna knock on the wall right quick. Just a little tap. Whoever drew that, a Hago face, I'm killing you. Anyways,
God damn.
What? Where? Oh, nice.
Continue, please.
All
I
right.
like this one the
Gone.
best.
So, you
Thank
knock
you.
a couple times on the door. The book comes down, and looking over at you is Tom with his big old glasses.
Aw.
Well, I
Hey.
think the best is because it's from someone who can
Blah.
actually draw.
Hello. Do we have to go now?
Not exactly if you don't want to leave, but we should be heading out soon. How'd you sleep?
He just kind of looks to the side and then looks down at his book.
Is-
I
Is this
Page just turned red.
I slept.
Page just turned red.
I'm sorry. I got really screwed up last night. But trust me, I don't usually do that. I was just celebrating, I guess. But here, I'll treat you to something.
And I go over to him and kind of kneel down a bit. Not that I have to kneel down that much.
No.
Nice.
Here,
And I pull out a silver coin and hand it to him.
Oh.
Here you go.
He holds it and starts flipping it between his fingers.
You can use it on whatever you want. But if you want to keep it, that's fine too.
He puts it in his book and closes it. He's using it as a bookmark.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my god. I'm gonna pat him on the head.
All right. Well, is there anything that you really want to do before we head out, or is there, just want to explore?
Well, I'm not really sure. We're all gonna be heading in different directions, I thought, though.
Well, no, not exactly. I mean, if you want to head in different directions, then that's fine, but you can come along with me if you want to.
Oh. Well,
I'll make sure to take care of you, okay?
okay. But I wanted to be able to search for dragons.
Well, you could do that too.
Correct.
It's really all up to you. I will admit that you're gonna have to be careful, though, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can promise me that, right? You won't let anything happen to you?
He puts the book to the side and puts his hand on it. Yes.
Oh, that's so cute. I smile.
Alright, well, you could do whatever you want, but just stay safe and just know that I'm always just a call away.
Call away.
Yeah. But, we should probably wake up your friends, don't you think? Before you
You
just
can see, like, a couple of them rousing, and one of them gets up and rubs their eyes.
Morning. Well,
They
I know that they
say
can't understand me,
a
but
few words in Draconic, and then you hear Tome say some back.
what are they saying?
Just greetings in the morning.
Oh, well, if you need anything, I'll be downstairs, okay?
Mm-hmm. And he
Alright.
relays that to the rest of them.
Alright. Bye.
And I go downstairs.
Okay. Going downstairs, you see a myriad of people unconscious all over the place. And you see sitting at the bar, Aprix Parlish and a single-looking tavern keep man wearing a small apron. And he has, like, very short hair and deep brown eyes and just kind of chewing on the side of a chicken leg as he tears it away from the bone. Nearly completely clean.
Alright, well, I'm going to climb up onto a stool and slap my hands.
What you got to eat?
We got chicken.
Is
Would
that
you
all?
would you like some of mine?
Just share.
I'm not gonna eat from yours, but if you have, like, a new piece or something, I'd gladly enjoy it.
Well, I didn't cook this chicken.
Oh. Okay, well, what kind of chicken do you have?
I've got the chicken that I've bought here that I'm eating.
Do you have anything else? Or are you just gonna keep this up for a while?
I mean, it's technically not really business hours.
Yep, okay. I'm just gonna go to a restaurant then. You two coming?
No, I'm good
I've
with
got
this.
polished
Whatever,
toast, okay.
whatever this is.
Sticking there, he
Alright.
drinks. Drinking tastes like cider.
Piss.
Oh, fucking love that.
Alright, well, I hop off and I'm gonna go see where a restaurant is.
Right? Walking outside, immediately you're hit with the smell of, like, chicken and bread off to the side.
Let's get this bread, gamers.
I kind of want to go to the place that Rose went with all the kobolds.
Does she know where I went though?
No, I don't.
So at this point, then, moving on to Lalarnell. Lalarnell, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stop my daughter from stealing.
You've now adopted them, even though they're gonna want to leave.
No, she's not adopted. She's just my daughter.
Oh my god.
It's a fact.
So you generally keep she's shown you her hands now and she's not holding the metal.
I look behind her because I'm tall.
Tails wrapped around the holder.
Would it hurt her if I picked her up by the tail?
You don't know?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna I'm gonna poke her tail and look her in the eye, like.
You poke her tail, it immediately wobbles, and she's startled, drops the holder, and it goes just clang against the floor.
I look at her, and I say in Draconic, no take.
But look, it's so shiny. Look, you can she pulls it up and starts rubbing a side of it, and it starts gleaming.
I mean, I did pay him a lot of money. It was kind of obvious that he was like, oh, nice. Maybe I could take it. Okay, so I'm gonna... she's gonna pat her on the head and then pick up the candle stick. Can I look at looking at the book?
Yeah, you can see Com just flipping through the pages over and over.
I'm gonna kind of shuffle over on my knees and come over and say, like? I'm asking her if she likes the book.
He's just like completely entranced in the book and isn't listening to you at all.
I'm gonna give her a little poke on the tail, like poke her tail.
You're holding the book at like by the cover of it while all the pages are weighing down. You can see it slowly bending.
I'm gonna pick the book up and see what she does.
She just kind of looks at you as you pick the book up.
I'm gonna put it back on the shelf.
Oh.
Give her a little head pat and then kind of wave like, come on. Do they do anything that would make me think that they want me to pick them up?
They don't do any outward signs that tell you this, no?
Okay, neat.
Art,
Then I'm just gonna...
Art starts to rouse from his and gets up.
I'm gonna, yeah, I'll set my son down and I'll set him down and like give him a little rub on the cheek to help him wake up, and then I'm gonna start walking downstairs.
They all just kind of tail behind you.
No. All right. I have the candle thing in my hand, and I go to the bar to find the owner.
The owner is not behind the counter at the moment, it seems.
What? Where is he? Can I look for him?
You can look about, yeah?
Yeah, where is he at?
Looking for a bit, you roll perception check, please.
See, this is why I put all my points in perception, like wisdom.
Walking around, looking over the counter, you hear...
Aw.
from behind the door that was behind the counter.
Let the baby sleep.
Oh, that's the owner. You just called the owner a baby.
Sure. Yeah, why not? You know?
Okay. I'm gonna take out a piece of paper, or like I've got scrap of something somewhere probably, and I'm gonna write took candlestick, and then sign it Lely, and then leave it on the counter and leave.
Okay. The kobolds see this. They were writing a note with you before, so they all just put their signature on as well.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Do they use their little handprints?
No.
What do they do? What?
They go over to it and they just kind of do a almost like perfect handwriting of a particular name.
Is it their name?
It is, but when you look at it, what's wrote down is their full name, and now you can see how it's written. Art
Give me their full names
Art
now.
writes down his name, and you look at it, and
Sorry, that was aggressive.
you look at it, and despite the way that he pronounces all of the parts, it says article on it. Underneath article is written compendium. Underneath compendium is written codex.
Do I know what these things are since I'm like into books and stuff?
You're vaguely aware that these are all words to mean different kinds of books or papers.
I immediately think they're cuter than they were before. All right, so I walk out. I hand Cod the candlestick, and before I give it to her like a mother, I look at her with like a finger, and I say, "No take. Always ask."
He just nods her head as she's reaching up to try and grab the holder.
She's gonna, Lorelai's gonna look at her and say, "Always ask."
Always, ask gift to me.
Please give.
Please give.
I give it to her.
She immediately grabs it and stuffs it into her small pouch that you've given her.
I give her a good head pat and say, "Good."
Roll perception
And then-
again, please. Okay, yeah. Give her a nice head pat.
I have passive perception.
Nope.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna walk out.
Alright. Take a step out with the 3 kobolds following behind you.
I'm gonna go back to the tavern where everybody else is, because
Generally walking out from here, you can see autumn in the distance. No one else is on the roads at this time of day. It's quite early now that you've stepped outside. Just barely hitting into dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And autumn, from where you're standing looking about for any place you might find food, you see off in the distance 3 small figures crowded around one very tall figure.
Alright, I immediately assume that it's 3 midgets following their master or something. I go, I don't know. Like,
I'm sorry, what?
No,
3
no.
ducklings following their mother, you said? How cute.
no,
She
I'm
said
midgets.
3
master.
midgets following the master.
Whoa!
I
I'm
hate
the
you
master.
guys.
What are you talking about?
Shut up, Parlor.
Alright,
My
Anyway.
name
Let's
is
start
Master. Okay,
walking.
Shut your mouth, Parlish.
You were both walking in each other's direction. Very quickly, you meet up. You see Laurel and her 3 kobolds.
Oh, hey. How'd you sleep?
Lorna nods.
Great.
Yes.
Pretty much, like that's a pretty yeah.
How'd you sleep? Bingo.
Sure did.
The other kobolds are just
Alright.
kind of staring at you.
Do you know somewhere to eat? I mean, I really didn't see you at all last night.
Do I know someplace to eat, or did I eat?
You ate at the place that you were staying, but the owner is asleep.
No, I'm asking what Tutt means. Like, is she asking me if I know someplace to go for food, or if I ate something last night because I wasn't
Something
around?
to go for food.
Oh, well, Laurenelle takes Tutt's hand and starts leading her somewhere. I'm gonna DM the DM. The thing that I'm gonna.
There we go. And look at that. Look at that drawing. I'm proud of that drawing. Anyways.
Good shit.
This is how I feel.
It's a place to find food, right?
My art.
It's so
I'm
good.
surrounded by fucking artists. This is how I feel.
Okay. I mean, you can definitely
you
do
all-
that, yeah.
I can't draw a triangle. I think we know who the real loser is. Why? See, look. Why does it look like a chip?
So there's only
There's
only one major exit to the city from where you are currently, Laurel, so you start leading her in that direction. As
Where
you're
are we going?
as you're walking down, you start to see a couple of people who are wearing like these just very thin shirts, just walking by carrying more bits of timber.
Timber.
Okay.
They're just walking by, and you see like a very small makeshift stand, and behind it, all bandaged up, sits 10. He's got like a stack of what looks like sandwiches sitting next to him.
Lionel turns towards the sandwiches.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hi. You
How
can
are
see
you
like
feeling?
he's got a small fire there, and he's got a pan over the fire.
How are you feeling?
Well, could be better, I suppose.
Lionel looks away.
Well, I mean, we're about to head out in a few, hours or so.
Oh,
But I just wanted to make sure that you're okay with me going and that you're in a good enough spot, you know?
I think I'll be able to get through this fine. You see him
If you're
just.
lying, I'll kill you.
You've got the. As you're here, you can smell pretty clearly the smell of like some kind of animal fat mixing with the smell of frying eggs.
Lionel
making?
looks.
Do you wanna? You can have one of the sandwiches.
Is it okay if I do?
Yeah, they're for any old person walking by. Mostly the
Alright then.
workers. They've been taking the sandwiches for their breakfast.
Oh, dude, I worked yesterday. I take a sandwich.
Well, then I'll just get something else if it's just for the workers. I don't necessarily want to.
It's all.
burden that.
It's all what I'm cooking, so be sure you can have one. It's fine. And he
Lionel splits her sandwich.
starts
Oh, sorry.
sliding a sunny side up egg onto a sandwich. You just see him
Alright,
grab
well-
some like scraps of meat and putting it on top, and then putting another piece of bread on over.
Alright, then. I
Here.
take a sandwich.
He hands you the one he's made fresh.
Oh, okay, well then I take that one instead. I'm gonna take a bite into it.
It's pretty bland, just very crusty, almost stale bread with pretty alright eggs, and the meat scraps are quite tough and chewy, but it's good enough.
Is it delicious?
No.
No.
It's
well, I'm gonna consider it delicious.
crusty bread. Eggs are a little bit under. Meat is very
Well, I'm
chewy
going
and
to-
tough.
I'm going to talk with food in my mouth, and we're just like home.
I
Just
guess.
fucking like.
I guess so.
Go ahead.
He starts just like cracking another egg into the pan.
Lionel looks at him and says in common. Wait, hold on. Well, yeah.
Comment.
Yeah, she's gonna say. Sorry.
He just kind of does this motion of his face like, don't worry about it.
You see, little
She nods and eats the
Cornell,
sandwich.
this guy,
I pat his shoulder lightly.
this guy was the chef of the house. Well, you know, when we lived together. But it was
She nods and eats her sandwich.
I suppose I do miss the seasoning a bit.
Yeah, you were always better.
Wait. Oh, never mind. I can't meta game. God damn it. Ah.
Hey.
Rip.
When he mentioned spices, I take out the pouch of spices that I got. That I split with Harlot, or not freaking Harlish. That I split with Aprix, and
Aprix?
yeah, I split it with Aprix.
Yeah, he put it in
Oh,
a
no.
bottle. He's got a bottle of spice.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And I've got a
I
pouch
thought you
of
were
spice.
giving it to Aprix, and I was like, what?
No, what? Frick no. All right, I'm gonna take the spices pouch, and I'm gonna put my hand in it, and I'm gonna take like an amount and hold it out to him in my hand.
Oh. puts his finger on, just takes a little bit and puts in his mouth. Oh, paprika. I could definitely use that for the potatoes in the winter. Would you mind
She
if
nods
I...
and gestures like, take it.
He pulls out a small little sort of basket with inlined fabric, and he just puts it underneath as you drop it in. Not much, but I'll see what I can do with it. Thank you.
She nods. If there's any
Sit
left
down.
on her hand, she licks it off.
Wow.
Considering it's
I-
straight paprika, doesn't taste the best.
Oh no, fuck that.
She makes a face.
Yeah. Also, Max Yeet, thank you. Thank you, sir.
What?
I'm
He-
going to give 10.
Ma-
Oh, go ahead.
guy named Max Yeet message saying, "Hey fam, new here, so here is a sub."
Hey!
Oh,
Hey.
yeah.
Subs.
Man,
are always
yeah.
Nice, man.
Nice.
Enjoy your stay.
Alright.
I'm going to give 10 a quick hug, a light one, so I don't hurt him. And then,
I mean, what?
Alright, just
and then
ribs aren't too great though.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but just call or do
Call.
something if you need me.
Call?
You gotta stop saying call, dude. You gotta say, like, message or, like, pigeon or something.
Right, man.
calling is still a word. They
Like,
just
call for
don't
me?
know.
Yell for
Yeah,
me?
yeah. You said that to the kobold as well, and he took it as just yell you for your name?
Oh, great.
Yeah, Tutt.
I'm
Say
sorry.
that. Send a homing pigeon when you get lonely.
Just try to contact me if anything happens.
I'll do my best, but most of my contacts in the direction you're headed is shoddy at best.
Send me a message. Do something. I don't know. Just try. But
I'll keep that in mind.
I'll be back soon. You better have those casinos up, or else I'm gonna be very pissed.
Alright.
I
All the
give
proceeds
him
go
one-
towards expanding the town, though.
Oh, of course.
Fuck that. Wait, what?
I'll see you soon, alright? Take care of yourself.
You too.
Alright, go.
Alright.
Laurel nods, eating a sandwich on her way.
And at this point, I'll switch over to Parlish at Aprix.
Aprix is drawing.
Pardon?
Aprix is drawing.
I can see that. Alright. So as you're drawing here, you hear the slight pitter-patter as some kobolds start to step down the steps.
Okay. I'm just trying to think, because what are we gonna do from here? We've done the Wizard Tower. I guess we're just gonna go southern.
To southern places.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna stand up and go search for Autumn and Laura now.
Alright. The kobolds just start crowding around Parlish as you stand up to leave. The elder here is just kind of slowly making his way down the stairs after the rest of them.
Or.
Parlish, what are you doing?
Wax.
Still drinking. I'm just no.
It's not hard cider, so you don't
Oh, damn it.
feel any effects from it. It just seems like a pretty nice drink.
I love cider though. It's so fucking good.
You gonna do anything else?
So they're crowding around me?
Yeah,
The
the kobolds are all just kind of going around you and just standing there. They're watching you.
Are we in the?
No, you're pretty far
Are-
off. You're close to the exit of the town.
Alright, I'm gonna reach in my bag, grab the mirror, and I'm just gonna hand it to one of them.
All right.
Dude, you're an ass.
closest one that is in front of you now. In front of you are Tome, Grim, Manus, and the Elder's making his way towards you. Which one? Roll a d4 for me, please.
Easy.
Okay, so you hand it down, and it gingerly rests in the hands of Tome.
No.
Tome just stares into the mirror for a bit, seems entranced, and then you see his eyes start moving from left to right as if he's reading.
He's such a nerd. He's so cute.
The kobolds will like look over at him over his shoulder. A couple of them just start smiling with glee. They'll just sit there staring through the mirror. Alright, so Aprix, you step outside of this tavern. Feel the small cold rush of air breeze by from the south. And look around and you see like pretty empty streets. Far off in the distance, there's down the street a couple men walking by with large one with a large bunch of wood and timber, and the other's got over a shoulder, hanging with a rope, a big tuft of what either looks like hay or wheat. Looks fairly old and dry.
Okay.
What do you guys do?
So I stepped out. Do I see Valarium and Autumn?
No, you can't see them from here.
Yeah, okay. I'll just continue searching for them.
Right? So, searching around, following about where you see people, eventually you see Autumn and Lalarnell walking as they are, with a few kobolds trailing behind, having their idle conversations as they walk.
Yep.
What are both of you guys
Do
doing?
we see him?
You can see him coming off from the distance.
I'm gonna wave and run up to him.
Right? One of the kobolds gets like excitedly moving and starts chasing after you.
Wait, what?
One of the kobold
kobolds are...
moves all excitedly and starts chasing behind you. Yeah, just one of them.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh.
Which one?
For you, that would be Com that you see running after.
No, little baby. Are they playing tag?
You don't know. You don't know what that one's planning.
Alright.
Oh no. Oh no, I rush after my daughter.
I'm gonna leap into Aprix's arms.
Okay.
Just be like, hey, morning.
So, Laranel, as you start running up, you see Autumn leap, and then immediately after see Com also leap.
Oh gosh. I need catch my babies.
Well, let's see.
I
here.
mean, Autumn kind of, but like, okay, hold on. Oh god.
So,
No! I have to catch them, right?
Com runs over in the opposite direction of where
Cat.
you're going, takes a leap. Roll a athletics for me, please, Laranel.
I use lucky.
Okay.
He's sleeping.
Roll
Is he
again then.
leaping towards me? Because can I try and...
He's you see Autumn leaping towards you, and
Nat
then you see
20,
him
give me
leaping.
my daughter!
Immediately as she leaps, you grab onto her tail and then wrap arm around her waist, and she just kind of like flops over onto your arm. And
Laranel breathes out a sigh. I'm like,
and Autumn, you leap towards Aprix.
Yes.
Could you roll an acrobatics or athletics, please?
I got you.
Just athletics, sorry.
Okay.
And Aprix, could you roll the same?
Yeah.
Or acrobatics, whatever's higher for you.
she just got a nat 20, so I mean, you know.
Yeah, he might get a nat 22.
Or am
acrobatics.
I not?
Nope.
So
So,
no.
Autumn, you jump up to perfect height where you are like eye to eye with Aprix, and then land on him, and you tumble him into the ground.
Aw. I'm gonna give him a hug.
On the ground, you get a hug from a halfling.
Good morning, bitch.
Good morning.
I just sleep.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I slept fucking terribly, actually. Yeah, terrible. I don't think I'm gonna ever do that again. That was. But I mean, I got some silver out of it.
Aprix just remembering the sounds in the other room during the night.
I frantically search his pockets.
Oh my Jesus.
I
Ap-
realize this.
yeah, you could probably feel that happening since she's on top of you already.
Okay, I'm fucking pushing her off.
God damn it!
Alright. Are you contesting him at all, Autumn?
What?
Are you trying to stop him?
Of course I am. I'm gonna be.
Okay.
I'm just gonna latch onto him.
Gabe, make an
Careful,
athletics check,
but
please.
you don't kiss him on accident.
Oh my fucking god.
You're like,
Be like-
jump on him on accident.
Alright,
Yeah.
and Autumn, could you make an athletics or an acrobatics, whichever has the higher modifier?
Let's see.
Those athletics though.
You feel him try to he immediately knows he tries to push you off of him, and you just kind of like sit down, dead weight.
He's fucking weak. He's weak.
Hey, I may be weak physically, but I'm not weak. Actually, I'm kind of.
He says
Yeah,
as
you
last
are.
time he just decided
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat some berries.
I think I'm the same exact intelligence
Hey,
as you, so.
Pricks,
Are
what
my
are
arms
you
free?
good at?
I'm good at.
Your arms are
Grab her
free.
ass.
Yes.
Okay.
Grab her ass.
I was
What?
gonna say, I'll take some of those trippy. I'm not gonna do this, but I was gonna say I'll take some of those trippy berries and fucking shove them in her mouth.
Dude, do it. Do it. If
Good
your
luck.
character would do it, do it. This
Nah, he
isn't a
wouldn't do
matter
that.
of what you
He
think
wouldn't-
it would be a good idea. Like, if your character is like, fuck her, do it.
Yeah, do it.
Time to experiment. Nah, he wouldn't do it in this
Time to
situation.
experiment. You've already done your
human guinea
experiment.
pig.
All right.
He wouldn't do that.
Can I search his pockets?
You can. Considering how it all went down, Aprix, what did she find in your pockets?
Remember that guard that we kind of bullied then killed? She
Ye-
finds like the shirt from him.
You're keeping that in your pocket? What the frick,
I had
dude?
that the entire time. Remember, one of you took his fucking pants.
That was me, but at least I put it in my bag like a freaking normal citizen.
Yeah. Why would you put it in your fucking pocket?
Oh,
Freaking
she's searching my
retard.
pockets.
Yes, she's going through your
I thought
pockets.
she was searching my bag. In my pockets? Fuck, I don't know.
She finds a bunch of berries.
It finds a bunch of. Yeah, it finds the drippy berries and some drawings.
Ooh, drawings.
I'm gonna get up and just like look through them.
Every artist's nightmare ever. You're becoming the person you dislike the most. Ted.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
So,
Like-
what kind of drawings does she find when she looks at them, Aprix?
Naked drawings of, nothing.
Oh no.
Titty drawings of.
Just drawings of landscape and the fucking. I forgot what they're called. Little dragons.
Kobolds.
Kobolds.
You have portraits of my sons and daughters?
Yeah, no,
Jesus, man, you're actually really fucking good at this.
Art is like looking over at the picture and he's like,
Do I notice this? Do I notice this?
you can hear him say it.
I come over and I look.
See a few pictures of all the different kobolds that you've come into contact with.
Laurenelle takes out her money purse and, like, takes out a bunch of coins and, like, holds them up to Aprix.
Aprix, you're no longer being held down, so you can just stand up.
Yeah, I'll just stand up.
See, Laurenel's just holding out a bunch of money in front of you.
I think she wants to buy them.
She nods.
I'll just like hand over some drawings, but I'll reject the money.
Yes.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
It's gonna say you want that.
Oh, well, I'll accept it for you. Anyways.
Lauren looks at her and says, looking at Calm, she says, she looks at Calm in the corner of her eye and looks at Autumn and says, please.
What?
What?
She wants you to say please in front of her daughter so that she knows not to just take things.
I sigh.
Can I please have your money?
She hands it to you.
How much is it?
I don't know, dude. Probably like 2 gold and a platinum.
Oh yeah, alright, cool. Hell yeah, dude. Alright, I stuffed that in my bag.
Alright. You now have an amount of money given to you by Laurenel.
Yay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm a sugar daddy even in like D&D, dude.
Yeah, now I owe you that much too.
Oh, haha,
Damn.
no. That's not how, it's
So,
a loan.
During all of this parlish, are you just drinking in there?
What are they doing with the mirror?
A few of them are
They're
staring
still
at
looking
it. They
at it?
start like pointing at different places.
Alright, I'm just gonna grab the mirror and walk out.
Oh,
And they start chasing up behind you.
I'm just gonna stuff the mirror back into my bag and then just completely walk out.
all of them are gonna try to steal it from you. I hope you know that.
As you
Well, they
do
could
this,
try.
they
slice off their little grabby hands.
like walking
I'm going to kill you.
single file behind you.
Lauren sits and watches the kobolds.
Where are you walking to? Parlish?
I was just walking outside
Right.
and then just looking around.
Looking about, you see the streets slowly. People are starting to come out of houses with like shirts all tidied up and start walking in different directions. Some of them start walking out of the tavern as well with like bleary eyes.
Alright, I'm gonna go over to the fighting arena. The fighting tent thing,
Right.
like where it was before.
So you start heading towards the exit, and on your way there, you do see Aprix, Autumn, and Laurenel, along with the 3 other kobolds, just hanging about. You guys start to
Alright.
see a row of like, imagine watching a mother duck and then the bunch of ducklings, just smaller versions of him, just walking behind them.
You mother duck.
Is Tome there?
Tome is at the back, helping the elder walk.
Aw, I'm gonna go over and help him.
All right. Helping a little bit, the elder is not super decrepit. He has a walking stick there, and he's making along, keeping pace. And Tome's just at the back of him, pushing him up and helping him out.
Aw.
Well, do you have any plans on what you're gonna do out here? I mean,
Saying that to the elder?
I'm telling that to Tome and the elder.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna look for dragons. I don't know which way they are, but I'll find out, I guess.
And
well,
the elder just looks over.
I think I might try to stay here.
Whoa.
alright. Well, I mean, there's a lot of libraries, I'm pretty sure, so I'm sure that you can read up on some things that you
Swishing
just didn't quite
of
know.
Tome's tail.
Tone, by the way, I'm not sure if you entirely got what I said before, but you don't have to,
And I put up air quotes.
call me, but message me somehow if you need me, okay?
Oh,
I-
I thought you just meant, like, yell.
No, just message me somehow, like maybe send a letter, or if you know how to you know.
It's like autumn. No, it's spring.
He starts searching around in a pack and he pulls out like a tiny wire. You hear Tom's voice in your head as he like cups his hands.
I can message this, but it's pretty small and short.
Well, that's perfect. Then just use that whenever you need me, okay?
Okay.
But, do you know, directions? Like, north?
No.
Natural voice. No. Alright, cool.
So with that, Parlish, you're just continuing on, I imagine.
Mhm.
So you start walking towards the exit. You're walking past Aprix and the Laurinel and the other 3 kobolds, and the kobolds that were following you start to merge up with them, and it's all different interactions going on.
I'm gonna sit next to the kobolds and then just yes.
Okay.
Rip.
So, Parlish, you start heading off on your own, you imagine.
Mhm.
With every step, you hear a very small, fainter step behind you.
Your ship broke.
Yeah, her computer crashed. Either way, the Laurinel, you hear a couple of different interactions. You hear that both Com and Cod are very excited about seeing open waters and lakes. You hear that the kobold known as Manus wants to see dwarves.
Can't write that down.
Alright. Noticing now with all of this, Grim is missing at the moment. He's kind of just walked off somewhere. And Art seems excited about mountains. Mountains and snow.
I use Druidcraft. I sneak up behind him and use Druidcraft to make it like snow above him.
Is that in its description that you can make it snow faintly?
Yeah, it can. Yeah, it's like a harmless effect.
He starts.
I think it's like actually in the spell.
The moment that this tiny spray of little frosty salt, like snow, sprinkles down, he just starts. And he jumps up and starts grabbing bits of snow in his hands. Yeah.
Melt. There
I'm
it is.
gonna, well, Tutt isn't here.
Yeah, she's saying that her computer might not be able to come back.
Oh no.
Alright, we're gonna have a drastic drop in quality for Tutt's mic, damn.
Oh, jeez.
Rip.
Oh well. Either way, you're hearing their general discussion about where they decided to go and realizing that they won't be able to all stick together for this. They start just, speaking as they do with their own interactions.
Lauren, I was gonna,
There's Tutt.
It's fucking not working. Anyhow, are we still with the kobolds? Yes or no?
You guys are. Parlish is left and one of the kobolds is missing now.
Which one?
Grim.
Oh,
he's tiny and red.
No,
okay,
no.
well,
Grim was a deep gray color.
Um.
It was Manus that is
No.
all scarlet red.
Oh, okay.
but I was going to say to Tom,
Well, do you know the directions like north, west, east,
He
south?
said no.
Yeah, he said no.
No. Okay. Well, maybe you should read up on it. Maybe get something called a compass. You know. And
Compass.
yeah. And once you find out the directions, I think you should head up north. That's usually where the dragons are.
Oh, northwards.
Yeah.
Seemed like writing little bits down on an empty page in his book.
You can read up a little bit on it, and maybe if you want to, I can probably give you enough coins so that you can buy a compass.
Oh,
Would you like that?
That'd probably be helpful.
Okay, well, let me just do that.
I'm gonna give him like. Do I know if how much a compass would cost?
It's general adventure gear, so I'd say you probably have an okay grasp on how much that would probably cost. So,
How much do you think it would cost?
one moment.
Okay.
So,
Don't mind me, I'm just drawing a cowboy.
wondrous. Potentially, it might be best to get him just a pack set. So in this case, for him, it would be probably best to get either a explorer's pack or a scholar's pack.
Okay.
Both of those would cost either 10 gold for an explorer's pack or 40 gold for a scholar's pack.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give him 10 gold.
And say, get an explorer's pack with this, okay?
Whoa.
And remember that.
Explorer's pack.
And I hand him 10 gold.
Alright. He gingerly holds it and he just starts staring at the shiny coins and just pockets them into a small pouch.
Remember, that's for the pack, nothing
For-
else, okay?
For the pack. Right.
I just want to make sure that you don't waste it.
Okay.
I want you to see the dragons as well, okay?
Okay.
I give him a couple pats on the head.
He takes it all gingerly and then starts, like, looking around for where he might go and starts walking off.
Oh,
No.
With that,
okay.
move over to Parlish real quick, where he started headed to the exit of the city. You see 10 alive, although covered in bandages and making sandwiches for the people walking by. What do you do?
You know, just keep walking.
Right.
Nice.
You walk outside of the city gates and you can see the general tents. You see a familiar tent with a little peaking flag at the top.
Oh, sweet.
You walk over to it. There isn't any crowd or anything. You can see the man who's got his winnings and he's packing stuff up, and you can see Grakon just piling bits and pieces and starting to take down the tent.
Already? I missed it. Isn't it super early?
You can tell from this that the tent didn't actually get taken down the times that it wasn't open. They're taking it down now.
Alright, I'm gonna walk up to Grakon.
Right? He's focused on his task and starts taking down the sticks as you walk up behind him.
So what, you leaving town?
Huh? Oh,
You leaving the city?
well, yes, we'd be heading to... Well, I've been fighting for a while here, and... Well, they've opened a new fighting pit in Cottlereach.
That is very helpful.
Yeah, it's one of the big rings. They've got monsters as pets that they use as particularly challenging fights. Needless to say, I'm quite excited about it.
Oh, as am I. What do you know anything about their payments?
Well, I know that they pay quite handsomely depending on how many you beat and what kind, and there's some that are smaller that are very difficult to get around. Sometimes you need particular help, so they're letting you go in with groups of people or singles. they don't really give any information on the difficulty changes, so I feel like maybe they're gonna just put a single person in with something they expect a group needed to fight. Which could be dangerous, but...
Either way, it sounds fun to me.
Right? That's what I was thinking. No, I hope to see you there then, if you're as excited as I am.
Oh, definitely.
Excellent.
When are you packing up and getting out of here?
Well, I just have to take down the tent, but we should be leaving in... Looks up at the sky. No, a little bit before noon.
Alright. We might join you on your village, or your is it pilgrimage?
In a way, yeah.
Pilgrimage out there.
I'm back.
Pilgrimage.
Oh my computer.
Welcome back. Well,
Thank you.
I'm sure that my associate, and he gestures towards the man who's just counting up the money and looks at you, kind of gives like a mock smile as he places a stack of gold coins into a small slot. I'm sure he'd be happy for a company of, well, a champion. And he kind of like slaps you on the back jokingly.
Well, of course. I also have many of stories to tell.
Oh, wondrous. Keep us entertained on the ride there. It will be quite a long one. But yeah, right before noon if you come by. Got a space for you, so... I'll be seeing you then, yes?
Keep that in mind. Yeah, definitely.
Alright.
I'll see what everyone else thinks.
Excellent. And he just starts going back to taking down the sticks and lifting these large logs that have been jammed into the ground.
Hey, you wanna pay me for helping you out?
To be honest, I don't think I need the help at the moment.
That's true, but help doesn't hurt.
We're in no rush.
Well, see you around then.
Mm-hmm.
I just started walking back.
You hear the clanking of wood as it gets placed into the back of a caravan. Alright, and the rest of you?
Well, I'm ready to go if you guys are.
Where are we going?
Lord, no, no.
exactly?
We're going to Color Reach. It's down south. Have you ever been?
Yeah.
When he hears stealth, he goes, "Oh."
I don't know, but yeah, try not to look, as wealthy. They will fucking rob you.
That's easy.
Just, we might have to change our clothes if it comes down to it, but I'm good. I mean, people know me there, but, just to make sure that you guys don't get hurt or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lornell, you look fine.
Damn.
She gives you a look
Wow.
like she doesn't understand.
Don't worry.
Harsh.
She thinks
You'll
you
just
mean
be-
that she looks like you
Trying
look
to hit
healthy, like you look okay. It's like
Right, yeah.
you look healthy. And it's like
You can see
Ain't
some of the
it-
kobolds are like looking up to you, Laura, now, and they're like, are where you're going, are there mountains? And then Cum and Cud both pipe in and they just like, ocean, ocean, ocean.
Lorna looks at Autumn and asks, "Mountain, ocean."
Yeah, I think.
She looks at the kobolds and says, "Yes, in Draconic."
They just
I'm
stick
trying to find a
They-
map of
sticking with you.
the thing. Where's the
Yes,
map?
I love them.
Your general. So here's the map of the location.
Oh no.
Oh no, I want drawings. And Color Reach is like right here, right?
No, Cottle Reach is down here.
Right here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ooh.
there's an ocean, but
Mm.
pretty far.
Are there any mountains there, or
Put
is
some
it?
wood at it.
The mountains aren't specifically at Cuddle Reach, they're more south.
Yeah.
So they're like here?
Further down.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can do that.
yeah.
Gotta go
And we're
north,
what
south.
here right now, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Right here?
we're right
Yep.
here.
Coming from here.
Yep.
So we should be coming here. And that'll take like 10 days. So perfect.
It will take
okay.
a
I'm
long time.
excited.
Oh, I need to prepare my spells.
So, I also need to get something from Gabe here.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Ooh, I hear
Don't
that's
touch the berries.
exciting.
First of all, I want to know what it looked like with all these weapons attached.
One
Like
moment.
a dork.
One, the
Like a
giant
tank.
slayer. I have a scythe, a trident that I usually keep in my hand. 4 javelins and
Yep.
2 scimitars.
So you have a actual like holster, almost like a quiver that is holding the javelins. They're not super long, but they're just easily throwable. You have your trident on the same side, almost tied to the quiver of javelins, so you can pull it out and throw it as much as you would throw the others. You've got the axe draped across the remaining side of your back, with the handle coming up just behind your head. And you have the 2 hand axes at your side, and the scythe in the center of your back. So it's starting to get a bit heavy for you,
No, I switched out the hand axes for the scimitars.
right? And then you have scimitars instead of hand axe. Still, it's quite heavy.
Yeah. It's not light.
No, not at all. Could always give away any of your weapons. Who knows?
Yeah, I can.
So, with that, your general conversation, some of the kobolds don't seem to want to be going in the southern direction.
I give them each a little head pat and a little snuggle and a hug before we go.
Alright. With that, Parlish starts to approach the group again.
I pick up my son and my daughters.
Right? It's kind of hard to juggle all 3 of them at once.
I put Art on my shoulders.
Right.
Oh no! I put Calm on one shoulder. I put Cod on the other shoulder, and I hold Art up.
They slip themselves down so that they are holding onto your shoulders with their arms and dangling about, and they're just swinging their feet around.
Are they having a good time?
Yes.
Okay, great. And they can like tug on my. If they like start to fall, they can just grab onto my like robe and stuff. So. Right?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey, you put yourself into this, don't.
Well, I have a bag, right?
You do?
I'm gonna take that bag and put it in front of me and hold it in front of me like a fanny pack for my shoulder. And like you know how some ladies carry their babies and like stuff.
I am aware of that, yes.
Oh, they'll fall.
So, you open up your bag here, and it's full of stuff.
I'm sorry, what?
Your bag is filled with stuff, so they just start kicking about it.
No, that's not what
You got a skeleton head just biting at him.
No, he's friendly. All right. Actually, never mind. I guess I won't do that. I'll just try to catch them. It's fine.
Okay.
Try.
Leave me alone.
It's a wonderful time.
Carlos just gonna walk up and be like, looks up to the sun, be like, all right, we have till noon. We should gather everything we need, and then we can head out.
Unprompted, he
Well,
says
Lornell
these
starts
things.
walking. We were all ready before you were here, Bucko, so she just starts walking.
You were not walking. What?
I am
starts-
walking now.
Yeah, she starts walking towards the exit area.
Heck, boy, I'm walking.
All right.
Doing anything to stop her or anything in that manner?
Well, I guess she doesn't need anything. All right. So You guys ready to stock up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much set until we reach another town. I mean, not well. Do you guys need anything? I'm not stopping you.
Pussy. All right. Yeah. No, I don't.
Well, wow.
Wowza.
Nice. So where are you guys all headed directly from here?
I guess. How long do you think it would take to get to here?
To get to the first town?
Yes.
Given the pace that you might be going, it would probably take about 4 up to 5 days.
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm gonna
that's not too
go to a shop and get some rations.
Okay.
Dude, I have a trap and I can catch us food.
Yeah, but I want rations just in case if you don't catch anything.
I grew up in the forest. How do you
Don't
think
worry,
I fed
guys, I-
myself?
It's not a native forest to you.
I
That's
have
true.
2 days of
That's fair.
rations. Let's go.
I have.
I'll survive on 2 days of rations.
Yeah, I only
Yeah.
have 2 days of rations.
All right. So
I have a
Laura
trap
now
for a reason.
carrying your 3 kobold children here, even though they're
Yes,
not,
my children.
even though they're not actually children. You carry them off and head.
Probably older than you are.
They head off
I'm an elf, my dude.
towards the exit gate, and you see loads of people all still building makeshift homes from like general timber that's around the area. There's not a lot of trees in this area, so they're making do with what they have.
Ooh, can I? If I use Storedcraft, could it make like a tree grow faster?
No.
Okay.
So the rest of you start heading off to find some rations. Yeah.
Lionel's gonna go with Autumn.
You already went to the exit. You're at the exit
already
of the city.
walked
They're
out.
heading
Did
off in
I?
different
Well,
directions. That's what you get for
I
walking off.
don't need rations.
Autumn.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna go fish for freaking fish, my man.
You're at the opposite side of it, so it'll take you a while to get to the other side to start fishing.
Oh my god, I still go.
All right. So
Come
during
on, look at me.
during that trek there, Autumn, you're able to look around and pretty easily find, like, with general directions from anyone that will be by, you're directed to a adventurer's general store.
Yay.
Anyone go
Hooray.
with Autumn, or should you alone?
Welcome to GameStop. What do you want?
Here, I'm
What
gonna
do
sell
you
this.
want?
I'm gonna sell all
Yeah,
of this. All right, that's $3.
Is anyone coming with me, or am
Yeah,
I
I'll
the
come.
only one? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll come also.
All right. So you all
Okay, well,
walk up into a store. It's got like general tools for craft in a cross sign. Just says adventuring and other.
Alright, I'm gonna look for rations.
Right? Step inside. There's a fair amount of like sections of shelving just filled with a bunch of different small stuff. Some of the bigger stuff on the opposite side. And you can see amongst some small flasks and papers, you see like small packs wrapped up in what looks like hempen cloth.
Okay, I'm going to take one. Am I even tall enough to reach it? Like,
They're low down on the shelf, so you can get these ones.
They're low down on the shelf.
So pick up. There's quite a few just lined up in a small pack. They're all generally the same size, so they're stacked up together.
Okay. Do I know how much? Like how many days it would last?
Each one looks to be like a set aside amount of rations for 1 day.
For 1 day.
You can see the small box. It's somewhat larger for you, and you can take a look inside if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna look inside.
There's generally like a couple of sections, about 3 sections, 1 large one and 2 small ones. The large one has a small amount of like bread that looks like it's been baked again after it had been sliced. And then on the other side, you can see like a couple of small vegetables that look fairly fresh, so they'll last a good amount of time. And then like dried meats in the last remaining section.
Alright, well, and that's like a day's worth of rations, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I take about 3 packs.
3 packs. And there's like just a man looking through a ledger and then writing down some stuff at the desk at the end of the small shop.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go over to the desk and put the packs on and just try to peek my head over the table and say, how much?
Oh, hold on. What'd you get there?
The 3 days of rations.
3 days. I'll take it for 2 gold, please.
2 gold. Alright, here you go, man.
And I slide over 2 gold.
Picks him up. Thank you. Just moves him to the side and then writes something quickly at the bottom of the page.
Alright,
Yes?
you got water too? I need to refill my water skin.
Oh, if you're just refilling, that's fine. We do have, like, there's a well. It should be near the center of the town, near the fountain, so you can fill it there.
Alright, thanks.
Nice.
Alright. I'm gonna go over to Aprix and Parlish.
Right. Are you
Or
guys
one of the
looking?
two.
You guys stepping into the store? Are you guys looking around doing anything?
Yeah, just looking around. What do they got?
It seems like mainly just general adventuring goods. Lots of different things to be used for any number of purposes for what you're looking for.
I don't really need anything. I guess a sharpening kit.
A sharpening kit?
Yeah, do they have one of those?
They have a whetstone. They have a large pile of them.
Are those like mobile
What do you mean?
decently? Like, can you take them around?
Oh, yeah, no, they're small handheld kind of whetstones, just for sharpening small knives and kitchen utensils, that kind of stuff.
Alright, I'll take one of those.
See the man's just writing in his ledger. Aprix, are you doing anything?
I'll probably just refill on rations.
Right. How many rations are you going to grab then?
3.
3 rations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's just sitting there writing down in the ledger at the desk.
Hey, I'll
Down.
get these.
Whetstone.
Oh, yep, that's 2 gold, please.
Yeah.
And for this, just like places whetstone.
Oh, just 1? It'll be a copper.
Alright.
Do bear in mind, if they're sharpening for a while, those will start to crack.
Sounds good.
Right. And he just
Places copper.
skips up the small amount of money and starts writing at the bottom of the ledger. Right. Would that be all?
That'll do it for me.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Alright. Safe journey then.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to the well. Do I generally know where it is, or?
Oh, you've been to the center of town before, so it doesn't take too long for you to start heading that direction. And you can see, like, a fountain that's got, like, mostly dried up, but there's small bits of water that it's just filled up. It seems daily. You see a man there grabbing buckets from the well and heaving the rope up, and then he has a small bucket of water he just pours into the fountain.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna go over and fill up my skin.
Dunk it into the water. It's very cold when your hand submerges, and it just starts to bubble out as it fills up with water.
Okay. Once it's filled, I pull it out and put the cap on. Just be like, okay, yep,
Water skin filled with water.
yep, there it is.
There you go,
Okay,
then.
I'm gonna go back to the shop and see if the boys are still there.
They're started to head out now, so you can see them there. And at this point, we'll go to Larenel. Larenel, as you approach that side, Com and Cod immediately drop off of your back and start running up towards the shoreline. Rose?
What?
Listen.
Yes. What
Cum
can I
and
do
Cod
for you?
dropped off of your shoulder and start running towards the shoreline.
I run after them.
Right.
I'm a bit tired.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, so Cum and Cod peek over and they're staring out at the ocean with eyes wide and mouths dropped open. What do you do?
I sit next to them and I take some sand. Right? There's sand.
Alright.
And I kind of sprinkle them with it a little bit so they get to know what it feels like.
They kind of like just try to shake a bit to get off, but as it like crumbles around, they're just giggling about.
Yeah.
And
What's Art doing?
Art's just kind of like sitting about, looking at stuff, observing everything, taking it all in.
I'm gonna see if I can find any shells.
Alright, roll a 1d100. Alright. You're looking about. Seems like the tide doesn't wash too many shells and it's mostly just rocks.
Do I find any?
You find like one or two that are pretty cracked up.
Alright, good enough. I take them over to Cum and Cod. I let them look at one and I hand the other one to Art so he can look at it.
Looks at it for a little bit, holds it in his hand, sees like the general shape of creatures, puts it up to his mouth and bites it, cracks all over the place.
Oh my goodness.
Cum and Cod just watch him doing this, and then they look at it, and look back up at you.
I shake my head and I give Art a little smooch on his temple.
Kind of just spitting out shell while you do that.
I give him a little pat on the back in case he needs help.
Delicious.
Nice.
I give him a little. I like wipe his mouth in case he's got some more like shell, and then I give him a little kiss on the head.
Nice.
Grinds against his face.
And then I look at Common Cod and shake my head and say, "Don't eat."
They just kind of put the shell into the pouch and then start looking at the ocean.
They're so cute.
Hmm.
I'm gonna watch them because they're adorable.
Alright. You're looking at the ocean and they can see like mountains and stuff for a while. They don't seem to want to leave.
Oh, the little babies.
There's like a small port where there's boats and they start looking over and there's dock hands lifting their ropes and they seem a bit like perturbed when they see kobolds approaching, but they see you with them and you're recognizable enough that they kind of soften as the kobolds approach.
Okay. I'm gonna let the kobolds explore. Are they gonna... I'm gonna go up to one of the deckhands that looks like they're maybe heading off somewhat soon.
There's a ship in port at the moment and they're dragging like different materials that they'll need, and the kobolds see them doing this and start mimic them.
Larinel walks over to one of the workers.
The worker's kind of like dragging a big tuft of rope, walking towards the ship. He's just walking away towards the ship.
She's gonna cough really loud.
Oh.
Like it's obviously just awkward. Like
Can I help you?
She nods.
What can I do for you?
She have my babies. She picks up Common Cod and like walks over to him and asks, "Deckhands?" Oh wait, I don't know what they are. No, it's yeah. I say, take with you.
Take. He looks over them for a bit. They just look at him.
Do they want to go on the boat and like the yeah?
Well,
And, like, sail the seas?
it seems so. Yes.
Okay, then yeah.
Can they speak?
Lornell is gonna say to the kobolds, "Hello in common."
Each of them just look at them and say, "Hello." Oh.
She's gonna look at him and say, "Draconic, mostly."
Can they read or write common?
She looks at them. She doesn't know.
They don't know what that man just said.
Oh, okay. She looks at them and says, "Read, write, common."
Com starts nodding her head enthusiastically. Cod just kind of like looks over at Com.
Lornell looks at the guy. They just like gave their answers by nodding and stuff, like he would have seen, right?
Well, yeah, we do some forms of trade with Thwarentine.
She takes out some coins and holds them out to him and says, "For trip."
While like generally you're doing this, Com kind of like walks over to the ocean and starts playing in the water for a second.
I look over at her. Is she okay?
She's got a hand in the water and she pulls it out, and it's kind of looking a bit strange.
I drop the coins and rush over to her, and I pick her up out of the water.
You can see her hand looks
and
kind of like dripping, and the color's kind of sapping out of it a little bit.
I blow her hand to make it air. You know what? I use Druidcraft to cause a breeze to like cool to dry it off.
After a while, it gets fairly dry, and the hand starts to come back to normal, but several little streaks of color have just been run off the hand. You can see like white, papery looking substance underneath. It's a bit wrinkled now.
She looks at her and says, "Dangerous to touch." She gives her a little pat on the head, like, "Yeah, I know." Would I know what a kobold sounds like when it's trying to comfort another kobold?
It's a pretty familiar soundish.
I make the sound like, you know, something.
Yeah. It's kind of sitting there rubbing their hand.
I make the sound of like comfort.
Nice. Good job.
Thank you.
Right.
And I walk back over, and I ask both Com and Cod, "Is this what you want?"
Cod is a bit perturbed by the current situations, and Com seems somewhat afraid.
Aww.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking die.
Oh my goodness. No.
Scared. They're like, oh no.
I was trying to give them what they wanted. Now they're scared. She's gonna pick up the coins, and I ask them, "What do you want?"
They just kind of crowd around you.
She just leaves the deckhand. She just leaves.
All right then. And he just starts walking back to his ship.
All
right.
She keeps comforting little baby.
Yeah, I assume that you're walking back around. And at this point, what have everyone else been doing?
I'm waiting at the gate with the other two.
All right.
Yeah, I go to
time
the
is
gate.
it? Around
It's approaching noon slowly. And as it gets towards that time, you see Lornell appearing by the side, and there's Com and Cod, and Com's just kind of touching a hand that looks a bit more white than it used to instead of the natural yellow that she has. Art's just like looking up at the sky.
You guys ready?
Learn on nuts.
Whenever you are.
Late.
Go see what they're up to. Gracon's up to.
You go over and you see like Gracon's just tying up the horses at the front. Oh, hello again. He's just looking at all of you.
How'd it go,
Hey,
dude?
you, Gracon, guy. Well, you're tall still.
Oh my god.
And you're short still.
I give him finger guns.
Lorna walks up to him and just stands a little bit closer than probably what would be normal, but she wants to be next to him because he's cool.
Takes a small step back away from you.
She steps next to him.
So, Parlish.
Hmm?
I've assumed that you're all gonna be joining us on the caravan then?
Oh, did
If
you
we
come
were
with
able
us?
to.
Pardon, what was that?
If we're able to.
Oh, well, there's plenty of room. We do have it set up for holding a tent and any fighters that we met along, so I'm certain you could find some place to hobble up.
Yeah.
It is-
What
very
about
useful.
the rest of us? Where are you going?
Well, we're headed to Cottle Reach. There's fighting pits there that I'm very excited to be a part of.
Oh,
same,
well,
same,
do you
same.
think that we could all fit in? Or just Parlish?
Well, you're all very small, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Lorna like looks at him and looks at Parlish and says, beat ass.
Considering that, Gracon is huge, I think
He holds
has
up-
the right to cause.
He holds up his forearm against your side, Rose, and his forearm is about a solid third of the width of your entire body.
She takes a hand and just puts it on his forearm to feel his muscles, cause why not?
Fucking solid.
Well, if we
Ooh.
could just
She gives him a little
try for
squeeze
this.
just to make sure.
Jesus Christ. He pulls his arm away.
Lorna looks dejected. She looks a little. Is she?
Fucking weirdo,
I-
dude.
I beat Parlish's ass though. Even though I'm small, it doesn't mean I can't fight.
He doesn't know that.
Oh well.
He doesn't believe that.
How do I- Oh, okay. Hold on. He doesn't believe me.
Totally let her win. Don't even. not
Okay,
even
this
let
is
her.
a terrible idea. But I'm gonna I'm gonna give the kobolds to Autumn, stand back, and wild shape into a giant scorpion.
Alright. So, the kobolds sat down and they all watch in awe, some of them in a bit abject confusion, and at least one of them in a small amount of fear. You transform into a giant scorpion, and Gracon just kind of looks at you, his mouth droops just a tiny bit, and he looks at your form. Yeah, she can't fit if she's like that. Doesn't say anything else.
I think she's just trying to show off.
Yeah.
Lionel snips her pincers and tries to grab at Parlish.
Yeah, I'm gonna step on her pincer.
Excuse me, I stab him with my tail.
So it has to be in sequence, please, Rose. So first off, try and make a grapple. So you have to do athletics, and Parlish, you have to do either athletics or acrobatics, whatever's higher.
I use lucky.
You try me.
Use
No,
lucky,
I'm
you
just
can do
kidding.
it.
I don't want to use lucky. I don't want to
Okay,
use
then,
lucky.
alright, yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
So you reach forward to grab him with your pincers. He just steps over and stabs him, and Gracon's just like, yeah, seems about right.
I stabbed Parlish with my tail.
Roll an attack.
Oh my god.
Parlish, does that hit you?
Dodge.
Yeah. So
Hit me.
what's your AC?
15.
15. So you're gonna hit him with that. Roll damage.
You barely hit me.
Yeah, take damage, bucko.
So you fuck, you end up taking all of that damage. But you have to do a DC of 14. Constitution save, please, Waldorf. Okay, so you take 16
13.
points of damage.
Oh, what? No, dude, that's 25, and then halved.
No, it's only the poison damage that's halved.
Oh.
16.
So you take
Oh, no.
16 points of damage as immediately your body is ricocheted back onto the ground by a huge tail of a scorpion, and Grakon just kind of looks, cocks an eye.
Can we go, please?
Why the
Florinel
fuck?
turns
Why
out a
the
wild shape
fuck?
and kicks him in the leg.
You're asking for my axe right now. Come on.
All
I
right.
just,
I really want to try this thing out, you know.
She ignores you and just picks up the cob. Oh, now she's like.
During this
oh, no,
exchange
hold on.
between you and him, Grakon just pulls a log down to make like a stepping stone for the smaller people, as it's a pretty large caravan.
Okay, I'm just gonna go up.
All right.
Did the
Yeah,
kobolds
so,
also go in?
The kobolds just
kobolds
got
are gonna
crawling up there,
fucking
yeah.
die.
Oh god.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get out of wild shape and just go in the caravan.
Yeah, try to avoid doing that during the trip, please.
Mm. She makes a pouting sound.
Okay, then. Parlish, you and me have to go up front.
Sounds
I
good.
was trying to show I was strong. What the frick? Why doesn't he think I'm strong? I literally almost killed him.
Yeah, for Grakon, there's a time and a place.
Oh my Jesus fucking Christ!
I like this guy.
Kill me.
So, Aprix,
effort.
you can choose either to go at the front with those two, or you can go up the back. What do you decide?
Oh, I want to go at the front. I want to go at
Super.
the front.
Yay!
So,
You know what? They don't even deserve my help.
you guys get on the front. There's two sections. There's a section that you're on, and then the section the driver's on, who is, at this point, the man who is employing Grakon. He's sitting there, and he's just looking back. Oh, so
Freaking
more, then.
Dicks.
Nice to see you again, Parlish.
Oh, you too.
Hope you can make
Thanks for
some money
calling.
with us. Instead of just taking it.
Mhm.
Anyone else? Are they all set? And there's like a small piece of fabric that you can open up slightly so you can see in the back where there's all the pieces of wood, which are secured by a small piece of plank at the back. And then all of you are sitting in there.
Lit.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Does Polish still have his poison? I was seeing that he did the Constitution save. Does he?
Well, poison in this point is poison damage. It's not a continued thing
okay.
that stays with him. It's just an amount of damage, like acid damage.
Not like a dot damage.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So,
just
are you
hurting.
guys all good back there? Nothing shifting about?
No.
Good. What about them? And he just points at the group. With the kobolds that have come with you at the moment, is currently you can see Common Cod and Art. The rest of the kobolds have all moved in a different place, and they're all sticking with the Elder inside the city. At this point, you also see there's like a deep gray movement, and Grim's sitting up at the front. He's kind of latched on to Parlish's back.
No.
Who?
The small deep gray kobold.
Uh,
You couldn't feel him because he was on top of one of your weapons.
my
I can imagine him
Fucker.
just. I can imagine him just hanging on by the end of like
Yeah.
his axe.
Grakon is speaking to the rest of you, seeing if you're okay. He just starts pointing each individually. Points towards the Lorinel. You? Sorry, what were your names again?
Autumn.
Autumn. He just starts like pointing at each individual kobold, and he's just like, right. And Tome says, no, Tome isn't with you actually. Sorry, my bad. He
No,
just
no,
said-
no. When he points at them, I say their names.
Oh, okay. Right.
Cod,
Okay.
Art.
Got you. When he points at you.
Oh, she blinks and says, Lily.
I can't say it fits, but it's nice.
She nods.
And then she he sits back and he sees Parlish on one side, turns and there's Aprix. Are you sitting next to Parlish here, or are you sitting next to Grakon?
Wait, so is the driver in the middle?
The driver's in a little step in front of you guys.
I want to be able to sit next to both of them.
Okay, so you're between Grakon and Parlish then.
Hell yeah.
Then Grakon just points at you and then stops and looks past you. Parlish, you've got one on your...
Got what?
Well, there's...
I'm like looking around, like trying to see behind my back, like the fuck.
You look back and you see like a tiny gray head look at you, and just see like an awkward smile.
What are you doing, weakling? I'm just gonna reach back, like grab him, and then just put him in front of me.
He tries to do like this kind of saluting gesture. He's shivering.
No. I'm gonna slap
How long were
Parlish
you
on
back
the
there?
shoulder.
Be nice.
Probably way on the other side.
I was there for I saw you to the tent.
It's a long time.
I'm good at that.
Alright, works for me, I guess.
You d-
You gonna climb back with the other ones, or are you just gonna stay up here?
I'll stay here.
Alright, just don't cause trouble.
Yes.
and he just sits down in front. Okay. And you,
Aprix.
Good to meet you. Since you're so close, he actually holds out a hand to shake.
I shake that big boy hand.
Oh my god.
Big boy hand.
The biggest of boys.
Ah, Calloused. What from?
Fapping.
Wow. Ouch.
Why can't I?
Wait, is he talking about the scars on my arm?
Generally, just scars and marks
Oh.
and...
Well, this one is from a troll that nearly took my arm off. Well, that's the most prevalent one. Is he pointing to any other ones?
Generally some small calluses on your fingers from writing.
Oh yeah. I won't mention that.
Alright.
So a troll tried to eat your arm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
There are going to be some fun stories on this trip. And he taps it, and then the driver just whips it, and you start going along the path out of Flustaden.
Hey.
Also, thank you, Rose, for those messages.
Mhm.
Shake that big boy hand. Okay, so this begins your traveling journey from Flustaden to Cuddlereach. So the way that each of these will work is I will roll the random encounter thing that I have set up here, specifically for this all. With each one of the suggestions that either you've given me or one of the ones that I've come up with may happen, possibly, or nothing will happen. So, about two potential options will happen each day, and I'll be rolling for them. Since it's already halfway through the day, you'll have the first one, which happens as you approach night, traveling towards Cuddlereach. So, while I'm sorting all of that out, feel free to have idle conversation, and I'll join in if you talk to Grakon, or one of the kobolds, or the guy.
Alright, well, I'm going to go up to Aprix.
So, big boy hand, huh?
Huh?
Aren't you? Wait, how is this thing laid out?
Oh yeah, what does the carriage look like?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so we can have an idea of how like.
So, going from the back and working to the front, first off, the general carriage it's quite a large carriage, built much for the idea of carrying large amounts of goods. In this case, it's mostly the wood and tent materials for actually setting up their fighting tent. There's also some small boxes that are set that are just filled with, like, different materials for keeping accounts. So, it's very long. It's a solid, maybe, I'd say about 15 feet by 10 feet wide, maybe 15, 20 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
Probably much bigger than that, actually. I'm probably doing terrible for describing how big a cart actually is. My bad there. The driver is a small, I believe he was half-elf. And he's at the front, and then there's a small ridge where he's sitting that connects to the two large things that are holding two draft horses at the front. And then there's a small level, and that level is where you three are sitting. And then there's an arch on the back right behind you, on that ledge that you guys are sitting, that has the small piece of fabric that you can open up to look inside of the carriage. And inside is all the wood and tent materials, and just sitting on top of the wood and tent materials is everyone else. And inside, on one side of the carriage, is most of the kobolds and the Laurinel. On the other side is Autumn. And some of the kobolds are jumping back and forth between.
So there's like entire logs separating us, yeah?
No, it's just fabric separating you guys, but the logs there are used more as like seats for the people in there.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for the little picture.
It's the opening to Skyrim Elder Scrolls.
Oh my, shut up.
Goddamn.
Laurinel is gonna, when Autumn moves, she's gonna like shuffle behind her and then sit next to her.
Lit.
Alright.
Okay. Well, it's gonna be like,
He breaks.
Mm-hmm.
He's big, isn't he?
Quite so.
He's
Very
huge.
much so.
You
Who are we
scare
talking about
me.
being big? Oh my, what the frick?
Crack on.
Can I get like I don't actually know how big he is. Is he taller than Paladin?
He's taller than me.
Yeah, he's roughly he's a minimum of 10 feet tall.
Okay.
I want him
okay,
to be
Jesus.
proud of me, but just like my real dad, he's just disappointed.
Jesus Christ. Fuck, Rose, wow. God damn.
Hey.
Never mind, don't worry
God
about it.
Jesus Christ, Rose.
I mean, he did
Ceramic
do the whole
dice.
thing of like time and place, and I'm just saying.
I...
Man,
God, jeez.
I'm not crying. Yikes.
Oh my
That's
god.
a yikes for me, dog.
It's gonna be yikes for me,
Big
dog.
yikes. Real big yikes. Ah,
Anyway,
here's a good option for what it looks like generally. Bloop, bloop,
that's
bloop.
real small. Can you make that bigger, please? Thank
Yeah,
you.
man, bigger. That's what I'm doing. Jeez.
Those
man.
are some thin horses. Can you make it a little bigger, please? Thank you.
That's the
Can you
general
make it a
layout
little
of
bigger? My glasses are.
Those are some
Wait,
really
hold on,
thick
I get it.
horses. Just
Oh,
saying.
Alright, so that's the general layout. The driver is sitting like here. You guys are sitting here,
We're
and
sitting
everyone
together.
else is inside. Yes, enjoy drawing however you wish. So continue your general conversations
Oh,
on the road again.
On the road
yeah.
again.
On the road again. Oh wait, I'll be in the middle. He's Polish. He's the giant.
Hello.
God damn it.
Dad. Have you guys seen like the one thing? I think it's Shrek 3, where Shrek has nightmare of having kids.
Oh
There's-
my
Yeah.
I remember that,
And
yes.
it's
I
like,
don't
duh,
want to,
duh.
though.
It's so bad.
Duh.
It's so terrible. I hate it. I hate it so much.
It's alright.
Spelled my name wrong. Par bitch. Yeah, that sounds about right.
First of all, I'm up in the front, unlike you losers.
Yeah. I am in the front.
Hold on, I gotta. Freaking... Hold on.
Come
Where-
on. You fucking spelled it wrong.
Eh.
Lovely. Par bitch.
Am I wrong? I don't think so.
Fucking spell-
No, you are
Master.
100% right.
There we go. That's better.
Can I kill him, please?
Yeah, let me make it a
Oh
little
my! I'm going to end your life.
Damn, wow.
If you die in the next battle because I like gave you some major damage, I'm not apologizing.
Genius.
Wondrous.
Go ahead and make a new character. You should probably roll your stats now.
You poor child.
Genius.
You'll have an axe through your head before you even know it.
Mm-hmm.
It was obviously going easy on you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a little child from the woods. Obviously, I can't beat up that kid. You know, I gotta let
Shut
her
your mouth!
win
I
all the
almost
time.
killed you. I'll
I
do
gotta
it
let
again.
her win all the time.
Alright. So,
I like to think this is actually them.
yeah,
That's
I'm imagining that too.
Draconic.
So,
Alright.
you guys are riding along and it's slowly approaching nighttime and you're having your idle conversation as you please.
Yay.
Meaning when you can ask or answer any other questions that are given or find yourself wanting answers to of the other NPCs or other players.
I'm gonna ask Grakon why he doesn't love me.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. No, I do not say that in character. I do not.
I'm gonna go to the coach, whoever's driving, and ask.
So, how long do you think we'll get to Cobble Reach?
Mm,
Well, nice.
well, I'm not sure. We did end up coming from a different direction. It could take some time.
Well, I imagine that it's faster than foot, so.
Well, it's less
Shouldn't
about
much.
being faster on foot and more the fact that we don't get super tired walking about, you know?
That too.
Hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
Right now, we're moving, well, I don't want to tucker the horses out, so I've started up with a much more slower pace than usual.
Well, I mean, at least we'll get there without being exhausted.
Oh my god.
Goodness.
So what do you like to do?
What do I like to do, or what do I do?
Haha, women.
What do you like to do? What are your hobbies?
What are my hobbies?
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't think that this is just what you do for fun. I mean, it might be fun for you, but there's other things, right?
Great.
I don't know. I've always considered hobbies kind of a distraction from all this.
Well, maybe you should loosen up a little bit. Let your hair down, you know?
Is he bald? Please tell me he's bald.
He has actually quite long hair.
No!
Okay, I'm back, sorry.
But
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I don't know. It's all between me just trying to fund the lives that me and Grakon have.
Yeah, I get that. I've lived that life for a while.
Eh.
But, you know, things can look up
I suppose.
every now and again. And
if-
have fun.
Yeah, well, I suppose if I had to say something that I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to get an actual house to go back to instead of constantly traveling. I mean, the open road has been very good to me, but, you know, it's nice to know that there's a place.
Yeah, I used to have that too.
Could always get it again. That's my plan.
well, I hope you achieve your goals.
Thanks. You
Yep.
too. You didn't really tell me any, but I'm sure you've
mean-
got something.
Well, yeah, I got a goal.
Thank you for that, by the way. No one else
You
can.
did the what?
No one else can
I don't
see
know what
it,
you're
but
talking about.
I see that there.
Don't even say anything about it.
I'm not going to,
Leave it at that.
but I just want to let you know that I want you to know, Waldorf, that I did not hit her. I did not.
I did not.
Hi, Mark.
I'm like,
Hey guys, you know how it's March?
Oh,
no.
Oh hi March.
oh.
Oh hi March.
Alright.
It seemed to come really quickly, like it just happened. It just suddenly appeared, like, oh hi March.
Mhm. So is anyone else having any particular conversation while it's heading towards nighttime?
I'm gonna sit
Yeah.
on the floor, like in front of Aprix and Dad, and
God damn.
and I'm gonna listen, man. He's really cool, and I feel sad because he's disappointed. Okay,
You got
sorry.
an unfortunate moment. My video output's getting really bad.
Yikes!
Rip.
You're watching too much stuff. All right. I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit in front of like Grakon and Aprix and kind of just sit there.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You hear him singing that?
Oh. I'm gonna kind of look to the side, but be keenly listening for if Grakon says anything. Leave me alone, okay? Gosh.
Did he say anything? Oh, I didn't say anything.
Shut up.
He seems to just be abjectly looking at the road, staring off at like different streams of water that slip by around the place.
Laurenel's gonna look at him and say, "Weather."
Nice.
It's nice out.
She nods, like, yeah, you speak the truth, man.
Go.
Uh,
Alright.
Okay.
Alright.
What do I have that would be cool?
What's his name again?
The Goliath?
Grakon, and you're sitting right next to him.
Grakon.
Grakon.
Hey, look at this cool tooth I got from the troll.
What?
Laurenel pulls out a tooth from. She pulls out the bandit front tooth she has and the tooth that she took from 10 that nobody knows about.
Shake my head, puts on ring of invisibility.
What the frick?
Oh, you put it on?
Yeet.
Okay.
Just fucking vanish.
Yeah. Immediately, Parlish kind of just flickers for a moment, and then he's gone.
Laurenel jumps. She is startled. She
Uh,
looks around like
Uh,
he's gonna attack her.
So, I have a lot of questions now. One, where did Parlish go? And two, why do you people collect teeth?
Well,
I mean,
Laurenel
I won't-
slowly puts
Yeah,
the
that's
teeth
one
away.
question.
I won't
wanna
lie,
ask as well.
I can't help but find it impressive that you found the time to get the teeth.
Laurenel lights up and takes the teeth back out because they're impressive.
But
Yeah.
but
it's
why?
kinda weird.
What?
She
Parlish?
Yeah. Right here, bud.
What is this?
I want to try to
whoever
punch
put
him.
that up,
I
fuck
want to
you.
try to
The
punch him.
fitness grim.
Make an attack roll at disadvantage.
I'm gonna. No, okay.
She's just
Oh,
gonna try.
major
She's trying to punch him.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like move out of the way. Totally get out of the way.
Yeah, that's
8.
an 8.
Yeah. So you just kind of swing and just don't hit anything.
Hmm.
Nearly hits me.
Hit
I
Aprix.
punch Aprix
No.
in the nuts.
Oh my god.
Aw,
Oh.
so rude.
No, I'm kidding. That was like, oh, haha, I failed so hard, but I wouldn't actually do that unless you
Mm.
like did something stupid.
Mm.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Parlish.
take the.
Go ahead, Gabe.
Yep.
I'm gonna take the troll tooth necklace and try and find its way around Parlish's head just to like demonstrate that he's still there, but he's just invisible.
All right. You place it around until it finally drops on his head, and you're like, oh, there he is, and then the necklace disappears.
Oh.
Where disappears as well. Anything I'm holding or wearing disappears.
Okay.
What the hell is this?
Well, I'll still just like point.
What is with you guys
At
with
it.
teeth? And I like pull it off and then place it into his lap.
Parlish.
Yeah?
Your hand feels kind of stiff.
Kind of like stretch it out a bit, like. Oh.
You try to stretch your hand, and you can't move it.
All right.
Leaving it alone?
For now.
Okay.
For now.
So,
How's Dragon doing?
he's just kind of like looking in the direction where Parlish was sitting, just confused.
Ooh, can I druidcraft pocket sand?
What?
Pocket sand, so I can throw it at him so we can see where he is.
Pocket sand.
You could
Well,
like
turn
throw
it-
dust and shit over him, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Fuck
dust,
yes.
you throw dust and it covers, and you see like the weirdly transparent visage of a dragonborn, and then every speck of dust starts to fade away into nothing.
No. Oh.
That is weird.
Why the
Lauren
why the fuck did you get me all dirty for?
Your wrist starts to get a bit stiff now, Parlish.
Oh no.
Alright, I'm gonna
Dies of
take off the
paralysis.
ring.
I mean, you don't have to. You can just be paralyzed. It's fine.
Right? You pull off the ring. You look at your hand. It's see-through. It's gloss.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
She's
I
like,
punch his
I'm
arm.
gonna look at him.
You
Or look
punch.
at-
You're gonna punch his arm.
"Yeah,
No,
I'm
I'm
The
gonna
one
look
that's
at it.
glass.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that.
I'm going
I-
to catch that hand. Don't even fucking come at
I'm defending Polish.
You'll
Okay.
lose that
Wow.
arm before I lose my arm.
Dude, I'm trying to see if the glass is like. What if your arm is inside of it and then, you know?
No.
The question is the
Leave
the
it to
risk
the
worth the
intellects here.
reward?
No.
Leave it to the intellect.
I
Yeah. You see, it says geniuses and it points to
Uh,
Pa Bitch and Aprix.
Rose, make an attack with disadvantage.
Oh gosh.
that's
Major
10 and 9.
disadvantage.
A 10 and a 9.
Not
Yeah.
even
Right.
close.
So you try to hit Parlish, and Gabe gets in the way, and Parlish starts moving his hand up to block, and you just kind of like swing and miss.
I'm gonna try to like poke his arm and like reach out and poke it.
Right?
So where does the glass stop?
It stops just below your wrist, and it's slowly creeping back upwards.
Okay, good. Thank God.
I thought you had a glass hand, and that would have been fucking perfect.
I mean, if he kept it on for long enough, I'm sure it would have been.
It would have been going like encroaching up my body, but
Mm.
no one would have known.
And
Jamie, honestly.
slowly, ever so slightly, the gloss kind of stops forming a ring around your finger that is part of your skin. So now, just
Like the ring.
a small ring around your finger is now see-through, but it isn't an actual ring, it's just a ring of your finger.
Oh, that's not very safe.
It's in a place
Oh,
where
that-
you can
that
still
finger's good.
you can still flex and move your finger without it causing any trouble.
Okay. I was gonna say that finger.
Well, that's
could come
new.
off very easily.
You okay?
Yeah, I wasn't anything wrong with it.
He just kind of looks at the band. Is that gonna like break or anything?
Let's hope not.
Well, Larnell reaches out to
Slide.
try to touch it.
I just slide the ring back into my bag.
No,
Right.
I want to like touch the glass part
You're
of his.
sliding
hand,
the ring
right?
back in your hand. You just put your finger against the glass ring. It feels like solid glass, like slippery and everything.
I take my hand back.
Anyway, it is getting kind of dark. I think maybe he taps his compatriot on the side. I think we should probably set up a camp soon.
Well, Larnell nods and she hands him the 2 teeth that she has.
Thank
Trapeze.
you.
She nods.
I'm
She
gonna
looks
be trying.
like she's excited that he said thank you.
He looks at it and thinks for a moment. He's got like a kind of one eyebrow raised thinking face. Pulls out a small pouch, opens it up, puts it on one leg, takes one of the teeth and just starts rubbing it between his fingers. You can see it slowly being crushed into dust.
What?
Yo, what the?
Larnell is confused.
What the fuck?
He starts just,
She looks at him and cocks her head.
oh, you know, bone meal's handy. And he starts crushing the other tooth.
Oh.
She nods.
Ties the bag tight
I
and then
cannot
places it into his pack.
destroy my kid.
Up here should be fine. He points over to a clearing where there's a small stream running by.
Perfect.
Caravan comes to a stop.
Okay, I'm gonna hop out.
I'm taking the tooth necklace off the polish.
Right?
I'd give. Yeah.
So, throughout the nighttime, it slowly start making an encampment with the parked caravan. Some of the wood is moved to the side of the caravan so that there's room for people to lie down and sleep inside of it. And then there's other small bedrolls placed outside on the ground, and a campfire gets slowly made over time.
Well, I'm going to put my bedroll next to the campfire, and I'm gonna sit down and play my lute for a little bit before I go to bed.
There's a solid amount of just wind, very cold wind blowing by. And there's no trees around. You can see the grass swaying every now and then. Some of it's slowly starting to die.
I would also like to use, where is it? Song of Rest when everyone goes to bed, so that we can all get, like, generally a good
Get yourself
night's
another
I wanna play along
D6
with
of
Beef.
HP. And Grekon sits down at the campfire and pulls out a small sack of like bits of meat and stuff and starts holding it over the fires and stabbing a stick through.
Is there a forest nearby?
No, it's mostly plains here. The trees are very scarce around. There are a couple out in the distance, but it's mostly a
Can I tell
small
if
stretch of
they're-
land.
Can I tell if there are like bunnies or anything around here that I could use my hunting trap to catch?
Looking around, there could be some places where bunnies might have made a burrow.
Alright, I'm gonna jump off the caravan and walk out into a place where I think I'll find them and then set up a trap to catch some bunnies for
Okay.
food.
The trap is set pretty well. Just
Actually,
near.
I'm gonna call them rabbits, not bunnies, because bunnies.
All right, you set it up to try and catch any rabbits that might fall ensnared.
Either or. Both.
At the campfire, Autumn's just gingerly playing her lute for everyone.
Should I? Alright, so
It's like a
I come
plan.
back after doing that, because I assume that I just wait and then check it later, right?
Yeah. So at this point, the sun isn't down; it's getting towards dusk and twilight here.
Okay, neat. Alright, what can I do? Is there anything I can do to help with any of the stuff
I mean,
for setting up camp?
you can like ask and stuff, but it's just kind of up in the air.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to Grekon and say, help?
Oh, well, if we've got any more meat, we could probably join it up.
Set trap.
Oh, okay. Probably won't get anything in that trap until the morning at least.
She nods.
Got any cookware? Might be able to make something a little bit better than just roasted meat. Do any of you have any cookware, actually?
No.
Mm.
Say
I
I do.
don't know how to cook.
Oh, well. It's roasted meat then tonight, unless you guys have anything else to eat.
Lorna pulls out paprika and, like,
What's that?
shows it to him.
What?
She hands him a pouch.
What? He opens it up and just looks into it. I don't know what this is.
She takes a finger, puts in, and licks it, puts it in the pouch, and then puts it in her mouth. And makes a face.
It's paprika. Spices.
Oh, spices. Okay. He grabs out a small pinch and starts just slowly spreading it over meat, kind of haphazardly.
Careful, you don't want to use too much, it'll taste bad.
Oh. What is this stuff?
Paprika.
What is paprika?
God if I know. It's just a spice.
He just hands the pouch back to you, Lorna.
Parlish fucking gives the
Take a
definition of paprika. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Like an encyclopedia, kind of like a paragraph from it.
Nice. So, it's not exactly...
Paprika, powdered spice with a deep orange-red color and a mildly pungent
Exactly,
flavor,
yeah.
made from the dried ground fruits of certain varieties of pepper.
Okay.
For example, a deep orange-red color like that of paprika.
Okay.
The word originates from late 19th century Hungarian language. Okay, hold on. Let me...
Going to start adding in paprikash to this too?
Gunpowder.
Gunpowder. Jesus.
Lauren, takes...
No one has any gunpowder, so...
So I've got fishing bait that's gonna go bad, so I'm just gonna cook that and eat it. So Lauren takes tiny sticks for like the bait fish, and she like
It is bait
starts
fish,
making
yeah.
little like tiny bait fish skewers and puts them next to the fire, fully intending to eat them.
Basically like sardines being roasted and stuff, and then like she's
Yes,
got
that's
a
it.
bunch of worms. Worms,
Dude, yum,
anchovies,
yum.
sardines all together. He's just
Dude,
kind
yum,
of
yum.
looking at you
Yum.
and he shrugs. Well, you know, eat what you can.
No, I don't know about worms.
Yeah.
She looks at him and gestures to a fish. What?
I've got meat. Not a fan of fish.
She knows.
Like,
And
Pick-
points at a worm.
Picks up some of the
Cricket
roasted
brain.
meat and just starts ripping it up with his teeth. You guys need any food? Or he said, when he looks at the rest of you.
all good here.
I'll take
I'm
some.
gonna eat my rations.
Laurenel offers Autumn some sardine skewers.
I'm good. I'll just have what he's having. Thank you, though.
If you're on mind, I think I'm just gonna grab some fish for Crick. And he
That's fine.
takes one of the fish and some of the meat and places it in his hand and starts walking over back to the caravan where the half-elf man is just lazily sitting at the front.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Okay, well, wait, is the food not cooked yet?
It's moderately cooked. It cooks pretty quickly because it's close to the fire.
Okay, well.
Once my food is done, I'm gonna eat like the sardines and just.
A bit charred, but yeah.
I'm gonna
April's
eat.
staring down the trippy berries.
Oh my! Shut up.
Making this
Trying to
decision.
for another one.
Yeah, I've been thinking this entire time.
Out of character,
Are you a
out of
drug
character,
addict,
out of
Aprix?
Aprix likes to experiment.
You've already experimented with it once.
He's a
Hey,
dick.
listen.
Yeah, that's-
There were different factors at play because I also ate a poisonous one.
This is an intervention, Aprix.
We're here to help you.
I haven't
This
had
is
one
a no
since.
judgment zone. Stop shoving berries in your mouth, you
I haven't
freaking
had
drug
I haven't
addict.
had
Fuck.
the only
Fucking
one I've had.
weirdo.
The only one I've had is the one where I got poisoned. Also, I haven't had any of them since.
Yeah, whose fault was that?
Oh my god.
Probably
Hey,
yours.
I was just eating berries.
Jesus
Don't eat
Christ.
the fucking berries.
Leave him alone, man. He wants to experiment with his
Bro,
fucking
you
berries.
should have asked me about berries. I grew up in a forest.
you want to eat the trippy berries?
What? No.
Yes.
The
Dude,
berries. Eat
I'm
the berries.
I'm like almost 120. I have experience, my guy.
I'm counting this as a conversation you guys are actually having.
We're
Okay.
talking in Draconic.
Valarium
Yeah.
is more broken up than that, but
Yeah, you get the point. Alright, but yeah, Lorno is calling him stupid.
Rude.
You know what?
In Dracon-
You know what? I'm eating one of the berries.
No.
All right.
Lorno slapped it out of his hand!
Roll
We
acrobatics.
are not doing this again.
Laloranel, roll athletics and
It's a trippy one. It's not a poison one.
yeah.
Yeah, you were
Gabe,
such a freaking
roll-
annoying piece
roll
of shit
athletics
when you
or-
took the last one.
Roll athletics or acrobatics here with advantage.
I'm gonna go with the lesser one.
Oh boy.
I throw one to me. I'll take it.
He meets you. Before you can slap it out of the hand, you slap his hand, and you hear.
Did Polish say he wanted one?
Yeah. I was like, throw one to me.
okay.
I'll take one.
Before everything kicks in, I'm gonna throw him one.
Oh my lord.
Berry lands. He throws a berry. You catch it in one hand.
Just chuck it in. Just
Lorno shakes her head. No.
Grekon starts walking back towards you guys. Oh,
Lorno looks like she's about to cry. If a stone statue could cry, it
so
would be this.
he's looking up at this guy. So hey, we might probably need someone to keep what's wrong? What happened?
They ate some.
Lorno shakes her head. The berries.
The
Berries.
I'm trying what
berries?
this looks like.
They're gonna start getting high, basically. It's
Okay.
Weird high.
So let's say neither of you are being on watch. He turns towards Lauren Autumn.
don't worry.
Yes, Dad! Give me
I'll
attention.
watch.
What does he need?
Don't
So
worry.
it isn't exactly the most safest place between Coral Reach and Flustaden, so we're gonna need at least maybe I think
Don't worry about it.
two-
I'll take watch.
2 people to take watch.
No, I don't need to.
Well, I'm too small, so
Lauren
I'm just gonna
nods.
go to bed.
I can
Okay.
take watch. Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to let you take watch. I will take your
No,
watch.
no. I don't need 2 people.
You
I'm by myself.
need to just lie down.
That's a bad
He just starts to push you down onto the ground.
Sleep is the worst thing that's gonna happen tonight.
God, I wish that were me.
It's fine. Just lie down. You'll be fine.
Hold on. We're just gonna pass up what Rose just said. Hold on.
Don't worry about it. Shut up.
That's worse than big boy hands. What the
Shut up,
fuck?
shut up, shut up. Don't worry about it. Nobody else heard. It's fine.
I heard. I ignored.
No!
So,
Walrus hears everything, even if he's.
You
high
guys
up.
start to feel the slight pangs of like giddiness in the back of your head, but so far no hallucinations or anything of the sort.
Listen.
Okay, so those two should probably sleep, and I'll be watching with you. Yeah, it was Lily.
Fuck sleeping.
She nuts.
All right, and Autumn, where are you going?
I'm just gonna go to bed.
Probably just gonna get up and start walking away.
No,
I'm following him. I'm following him.
no, you stop, no.
Lorno jumps on Aprix trying to tackle him.
I'm just gonna watch.
He's going to try and grab you, Parlish.
Alright, I'm just walking away.
Okay, so could you please make an acrobatics or an athletics check, please? Oh boy. What would the plus be? It would be based on... He does athletics, so it would be based on strength, so it would be pretty high.
Yeah, it'd be pretty high.
Right.
Okay, so
Alright, so he's able to beat you, though, because he has, like, I'll give him, like,
I
plus
rolled
4
a
now.
tackle Aprix to the ground.
Alright,
What do I need to roll?
you need to roll athletics again, please.
No!
So,
You're so bad at attacking me.
Parlish,
I'm so
you
bad at
get grabbed by behind and like an almost hug as you lift it off the ground and you look down at the arms and they start to mold slowly into one very large version of your invisibility ring that's just now around you, lifting you up in the air.
Oh my god.
Aprix, you
It's gonna
start
be so much glass.
you start walking over, following Parlish, and you see Grekon go to grab him. He's like, "No way!" And you see like he just falls on top of Parlish, and they start falling into a big blob of jello, wobbling about. And you see like berries slowly start to just appear inside of it. And then you see Laloranel just kind of doing like a swan dive into the ground, and the ground turns into ripples of a puddle. And you're just standing looking at it all.
Just put on like Bob Marley.
Everyone else, it's just, Laloranel
No, that's not Bob Marley.
falls on the ground in
know
front
would
of
be better.
Aprix, and Parlish, you are now being held by Grekon, and he starts just moving you over to a bedroll.
This is not a good idea.
He starts tying you up.
Oh my god.
Invisibility. Release me.
Okay, big guy, it's alright.
He just called you
Wait.
big guy.
Take this box and hide it from me. I will expect it tomorrow.
I don't understand. I'm just going to... He starts tying you tightly. And you get...
Take this box.
You are not moving your arms. I don't... Okay. He just starts...
Take thine box.
Yeah, sure thing, buddy. And he just puts you in the bedroll.
In the bag.
Okay, I'll give you your bag. Hold on. He picks up the bag and puts it next to your head.
I just start smacking against the bag to try to open it.
Oh my jeez. He looks like he's mentally.
You're kind of slowly losing muscle function, so you're just kind of flailing about a little bit and tapping your head against the bag like it's a pillow.
Trying to like open it up. With my
Right.
teeth.
He looks comfy. Autumn, you can take the...
Don't forget about the box.
Yeah, you can go wherever.
What?
Ring, please.
I was gonna say you can take the caravan. I'd kind of like this guy to shut up at the moment.
Okay, well, I'll take the caravan.
Yeah.
Or am I? Have I just been continuing
You
walking?
just... I don't know. Are you walking or are you standing now? Because you were following along with Parlish, and Parlish was slowly just blobbing over.
It turned into a blob.
Yeah.
You sit there and just look like, the fuck?
I'm gonna try and touch the blob.
You, touch the blob. It feels kind of weird and scaly on the outside. And in the other realm, all of the people who can see normally just watch Aprix kneel down and start just caressing Parlish's face. Parlish, you feel this kind of like wet fish eel sliding across your face.
Oh god.
You just see an eel just like looking at you going,
It's the fucking box's fault.
I'm just gonna.
Where did
put
that
my
ring
bedroll
go?
under
Where did that
caravan
ring
and
go?
sleep. Good night. I'm done.
alright.
I've had my
With that, Grekon takes a spot up at the fire and just sitting there. He's looking in generally Parlish's and Aprix's direction.
Laurel gets up off the ground. Is her nose broken?
No, you just landed. You didn't get hurt or anything.
Okay.
Probably just gonna try to roll. Like a sausage on a floor. Just,
So, I mean, they're probably not gonna get far like that, so I don't think we have to worry too much, but I suppose it's good we have people on watch then.
get away from the box.
Right.
She nods.
You're all done.
I'll just...
Laurel.
The kobold should probably go in the caravan as well.
This night's
She
gonna
nods and
fucking
ushers
suck.
the kobolds into
They all, like,
the
jump about,
Sweet
but they
dreams,
wipe their
motherfuckers.
eyes and stuff and just hop up into the caravan and start...
I give
Climbing
them
in anyway.
snuggles and then yes.
Alright. Grakon's just watching the other two.
I want to bring the
Alright.
bag, like, in my mouth. Just roll it closer to the caravan.
Alright, so you've got the bag in your mouth now.
I just...
Tossing it?
No, I'm like rolling, trying to roll over to the caravan.
You can't exactly see where the caravan is. You do see like a giant pumpkin on its side. There's this very big like flashing star thing happening as well, and the eel is just kind of like following you by and just going slap, slap, slippy slop all over your face.
Dear God, what the fuck is going on?
Should we just like do something about all of that?
Laurenel shrugs and says,
Don't you dare touch me, ring of invisibility.
"What? Like, what are we supposed to do?"
Fair.
I already have enough glass on me.
Laurenel walks over and kicks Parlish in the shin.
You feel this kind of feeling as if someone were just kind of rubbing needles against your leg.
Oh, ouch.
I don't even have to do anything to you.
I'm
Sweet
looking for
dreams,
dragons.
motherfuckers.
I'm off looking for dragons.
You're off looking for dragons?
Yeah.
See a purple dragon flying about over you.
I'm
Do I
trying to
know
reach for
about
it.
the thing
What?
because I've known Parlish?
You don't
Fuck
know.
no,
You don't know
please.
enough about it, no.
Okay, then yeah.
You're all fucked.
So purple dragon's just
Honestly,
kind of
we are.
flying about above you, Aprix.
I'm trying to reach for them.
All right, everyone just sees Aprix looking up with glee and just jumping up and down.
What do I see of him doing?
You see a big fish flopping on the ground.
What should... Where's your water fish?
Is the blob talking to me?
Yeah, it is. You can hear it like vaguely speech, like the same thing that what he's saying.
I'm gonna go walk over to the blob again.
I want like every other word to like go back into Draconic and then come back out into Common.
And nice.
Where's your home, little fish?
Where's your fish?
Can can I remember that there was like fish being cooked or anything?
You probably can remember vaguely, yeah.
Can I look for the fish?
Yep. You see a big flashing light in the distance, and since you're looking for fish, you just see like a big fucking fish head looking at you.
Oh, I'm going for the head.
Don't go to the light.
Is he looking at me?
The light will eat you.
Laurenel checks to see if he's looking at.
Trees.
Aprix
hate you.
is like slowly moving towards Grakon.
Trees.
Laurenel sits in front of Aprix.
Okay, both of you guys make a con save, please.
Trees hate you. Where's my axe?
Make a con save, please, Parlish.
Where's my axe?
Okay. So, they both just kind of flop around a bit, and Aprix just kind of walks over to the top of you. Aprix, you see like a very large scorpion just kind of dancing in front of you.
I'm running back to the blob for safety.
You run over to the blob and curl up on it. To everyone else, Aprix has just looked at Laurenel and immediately turned around and ran back to Aprix and just fucking cuddled up with him.
Laurenel looks at Grakon and like shrugs as like, are you good now?
I have to say, this is a very clear reasoning on why this is something we shouldn't do.
She nods. Did he see her try to stop him?
He didn't know. He was talking to his friend Crick.
Okay, so Laurenel says, tried to stop.
Well,
You could fucking try. You ain't gonna get far.
you know what I gotta say? When you're trying to stop someone from doing something like this, I feel like it's a lost cause.
Ain't
I'm
gonna
gonna
fucking do anything. Fucking A.
What are you
he's
gonna do?
changing the accent. I'm looking
Hey.
inside my bag. Like, my head's going into my bag.
Alright.
You guys should look at players' chat real quick.
That is
You
not
just-
what I see. I guarantee it.
You just kind of like
What is
rolling
my
your
wall?
head around. It's like a bunch of different things
I'm being
clanging against your
cuddled by a
face.
fish right now.
What does the wand look like?
The wand?
Yeah.
It
Can I
kind of
find it?
it looks a little bit like a worm that's smiling at you with like a bunch of different multicolored eyes.
Yikes.
It's gonna be a yikes
Um,
for me.
What about... What? Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. What about... I'm gonna pull out my small knife.
Right? A small knife in your hand, it kind of looks like a sword to you.
Oh. I'm putting...
Fish. Fish, you need to get the box. Get the box, fish.
I pull out the ornate, beetle.
Alright? You hold an ornate beetle in one hand, it feels like it's a big shield. The other hand, you've got a small knife and it's your sword.
Seeing this, I'm gonna show the shield to the
You're
blob.
holding a tree. I don't.
You gonna do what?
I was gonna show the beetle to the blob. the
Alright?
Shield.
You present your shield to a blob.
Fucking tree.
Parlish, you just kind of see what looks to be like a beetle doing a weird butt shake as it's pushed towards you in the mouth of an eel.
I'm gonna like start shaking. It's like, yeah, you dance, little bug. You got it.
Could you both of you make another con save, please?
I hope I keep getting it.
Yeah. Alright, so Parlish, you're just dancing along, and Aprix, you're looking at him, everything goes dark. Everyone else, you just see Parlish collapse onto the ground.
Apex.
fuck.
The fish is dead.
Wait, Parlish collapsed?
No.
Oh yeah,
Aprix.
Aprix just falls onto the ground, and you can hear like,
Can I punch them in the head to knock them out?
I'm already fainted.
Nemo.
Parlish, you
Like,
can...
start
For some
pecking at him.
reason I
Just
heard
pick-
Leroy instead of Nemo, so I was like, Leroy Jenkins.
Hey, DM, can
Hmm.
I punch each of them in the head and knock them out?
Well,
I'm already knocked
technically,
out.
Aprix is already knocked out. You can punch Parlish in the head if you want.
Please, please,
Alright.
please.
Roll an attack. With advantage, because he's prone.
Look out, there's a scorpion.
You want, mate? You know, fucking blow. I'll fuck
You
you
wanna
up.
fucking tussle, mate?
You wanna fucking throw hands, mate? You trying to fucking kill right now?
You
mate?
hit him,
I-
you smack him in the head, and he's just like,
Do it again.
Fuck.
do it up. Okay. You
19.
look at him again, you're like, and you just smack him on the head, and then doom, and he's out.
What a breath weapon? No, I was kidding.
Yeah,
You're
try me.
out.
So, they fall unconscious, and Grekon just looks at you. Probably for the best.
She
I
nods.
accidentally cast blindness and deafness.
We're all gonna fucking die.
So, I didn't really get to talk much to anyone other than Parlish. What's your deal heading to Cuddle Reach?
She points at Autumn and says, "Help, friend."
Oh. She from Cuddle Reach then?
She nods.
I can't say that bode any well for her in my eyes.
She nods and looks down like there's something that happened, and yep.
Everyone's got their things.
She looks at him and cocks her head.
Hmm?
Thing?
Oh, well, I feel like my thing's pretty obvious, and he just kind of gestures to his size and complexion.
Aw.
She cocks her head.
This
I'm-
fucking bot.
I'm a Goliath.
She nods. you are.
Yeah. You know, not a lot of Goliaths in Salgloom.
She makes a noise softly, like,
Yeah.
She takes out the Oni mask and hands it to him, trying to cheer him up.
I mean, I'm not sure what this is supposed to mean. Give me
She puts it on, makes a funny stance, and starts waving arms and going, eh, trying to make him laugh. Oh, come on.
Unimpressed.
You kind of look like one of my cousins.
She takes off the mask and makes a face at him.
I don't know what you want from me, man.
I can only do so much.
She takes her fingers and does like the smile motion. Like, she doesn't actually smile, but she makes the motion.
Any smiles?
She nods and puts the mask away.
Fair enough.
She drew across him a flower.
You give him the flower?
Yeah.
He eats it.
Not a veggie fan, but it's alright.
She nods.
Oh, look! He points up at the sky. You see a shooting star dart across.
Aw.
Pretty.
She pokes him. She pokes him and says, "Wish." She wants him to wish on it, and she's not going to take the wish from him.
I wish I could see another shooting star.
Aw.
You?
Wish.
He just okay.
Family stays safe.
You see another shooting star pass through the sky.
She pokes him and points at the star.
I don't know if I want to make multiple wishes on all these different ones.
Well, no, she's like excited that his wish got like. Look, it's your second star, my dude.
I mean, I guess so, yeah.
She looks pleased. Can I? Well, never mind. Never mind.
Well, if mine came true, I'm sure you might have too, huh? Yeah.
He nudges you with his elbow a bit.
She shoves him. Dude, she doesn't know how to people, man.
He's just beaming.
Oh, he's so
Yes.
good. Good boy.
And through
Good boy.
the rest of the night, just going through the motions, each of you stay up and have your general conversations. If you have anything particular that you wanted to say or ask him during the night, go ahead now.
Did me and Polish wake up at all?
Nope.
Okay, was the totem moved away?
Nope.
Even greater.
Does
Okay.
I'm gonna ask him. Dreams? Like what he wants to do.
I would like to... I'd kind of like to punch a frost giant. That sounds like a fun time.
I can't turn into a frost giant, can I?
No, you can't.
Can I turn into like an elemental?
No, you can't. It has to be a beast.
Can I turn into something that looks like a frosty boy?
Not really.
I use wild shape to turn into a polar bear.
I thought it might have been stuck with just a scorpion. This is a surprise.
Bear noises.
Speaks in bear.
She like nudges him with her paw to like punch her because she's a thing from the frost that's big. Frost
Yeah.
giant.
Well, I appreciate the thought. I don't exactly want to punch my caravan friends here.
You go be friends. Lorna sits down and like lays on the ground and like nuzzles the ground like nuzzles the ground with her like nose like yeah.
Right. I suppose you should try and get some sleep soon.
She kind of scoots a little bit closer to him and then just closes her eyes as polar bear.
Aw.
Alright. So with that, you fall into sleep for the night. Grakon eventually did the same. I think he just rolled 100 instead of a D100.
Good job, sweetheart.
Congrats.
I'm excited, Polish.
We're all fucking doomed.
Possibly.
Good luck, everybody else.
Okay, so...
Dude, you're gonna get crushed if you're like.
I turned now. Good luck, everybody else.
After about an hour, Rose, you transform from polar bear back into your normal self.
Does this freak him out?
You don't know. You were asleep during the time that this happened.
Okay, but like flavor text out of character, how did he feel?
He just kind of like went surprised at it and turned really quickly, and then just kind of was like, huh. And just turned away.
Okay.
Alright.
Whatever position she was in as a bear, like the same position,
Yeah.
she would have
Yep.
stayed in the same position.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
the night,
Sorry.
in a
Yeah.
haze of
Oh yeah.
this highness that you guys are in at the moment,
Oh my. I
You-
hate you all.
lying on the ground,
I tried to
sit
warn
up
you.
and
I
you
tried to
turn
warn you.
and you see each other. It's
All
a
of us?
big black expanse. It's right now.
Who are we all seeing? Like
You see, it's you, and you see Aprix, and in the distance, you can see Laloranel.
hello.
You can see in the distance even further, there's papers just kind of fluttering in the wind,
Oh.
and you see
Oh.
Autumn.
Wait.
Autumn, Laloranel, Aprix, and Parlish all awake in a black expanse of nothingness.
Is Grakon there too?
Grakon isn't
He's
asleep
not
yet.
sleeping. He's
Oh.
watching.
Ah.
The fox.
I'm gonna wave over.
I was like, yo,
Ah, welcome.
Parlish, is this your doing?
Fuck if I know. I couldn't really tell you that.
Fuck
me.
you.
Welcome. Like Aprix comes through. Wait, is Aprix still fucking head?
You are all like there. You don't have the fucked in the head nature of being here. No,
No,
as
we're
in
like
like
hallucinating.
yeah.
no,
Or is that not in the dream?
not at the moment
Oh,
in the
okay,
dream.
okay, no. Never mind then.
Okay, well, how do we get out of here?
Hold still. I'm just gonna.
Lornell holds
I'm sitting
still.
down and watching.
I'm just play rock paper scissors or something with myself, twiddle my thumbs.
No, I want to play rock paper scissors with you.
You say stay still, and you guys are all staying still.
Yeah,
I'm sitting
just
down.
still.
I'm sitting down behind Polish.
That was not what I meant by stay still in my head, but you know, there's,
Whatever you're trying to say, just go ahead.
no, I started walking over, and then I'd stop walking over, and then I was just like started looking around, seeing what's
Okay.
here.
It's
Usually there's something here.
complete
Oh.
blackness with nothing in any direction that you can see.
Well, this is fun.
So who wants to die first?
Die?
The Lorinel
Nah.
shrugs.
While not familiar with what the cause is, you are familiar with the situation, Valarium.
She kind of
I'm
just looks
extremely
around a little
familiar.
bit and then lays down.
I woke up to Polish and like spread my arms out and I'm like I'm ready.
Take me.
My
Take
body
me,
take
is
me.
ready.
Right. Oh god. This could end badly.
Actually, yeah,
Do
we
it.
haven't. Hold on, wait. No. Aprix
No,
is
do
really-
it. Do it.
Aprix
in
is gonna
character,
rethink this
in
and
character.
no. Aprix just realizes that they haven't actually
Oh, does
killed
he
each
now?
other in
Does
this
he
round.
really?
Yes, he does, and he has second thoughts and he backs away very quickly.
The Lorinel walks up and then just like gestures to herself, like just do it. I want to be not.
Bearing in
here.
mind, you don't have any weapons on you at the current moment.
Yeah.
She's gonna
Holding
make like a
back of
choke.
head and chin. Like I don't know what you're talking about weapons.
She's gonna make it like a choking motion, just like choke her out, friends. Just do it, and then she'll go wake up.
Choke me out, friend.
Choke me out, buddy.
Yeah, friend.
Hurry up, daddy.
Oh, no!
there it is.
Only one person in the chat is called Daddy. It isn't you.
Oh my god.
Walks up behind, puts
Or Tutt or Gabe.
puts right hand behind head, and then the left hand fucking on chin, and just snaps neck.
Dude, I told you to choke me, retard.
So, from Lorinel's perspective, you have explained to choke, and then suddenly this cracking, horrid pain exuberates throughout the entirety of your body, and you feel a vibration, and then you wake up. You're on the
I
ground.
jump up and shiver like.
Draken. Huh? Are you alright?
What time is it? Metagaming.
It's like-
wise.
It's towards dawn for her now.
Lorinel glares at Tarlish and rubs the back of her neck.
I'm still tied up, so I don't know.
Yeah, it might hurt. You did sleep like facing the dirt.
She looks at him like and cocks her head. Her face is probably covered in dirt now.
Yeah.
She,
Yeah.
she
Hold on.
He like pulls out a piece of cloth he's got.
Yeah, just clean it up.
She makes little noises like a grumpy kid.
You guys are all still in the
What
black
next?
domain.
What the fuck did you do?
You want to go next?
Is
You-
my body still in the dream?
Yeah, Autumn, you see the body of Lorinel with a broken, snapped neck, and Parlish standing above the body after snapping it in this
Okay,
black
I don't know what
expanse.
the hell's going on. I'm fucking freaking out. I'm
This
trying
would be
to
the first time that
find
she's
out
ever
where.
gone.
I'm still.
No, it's my
I'm
second
still
time.
sitting
First,
down.
second time.
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm searching myself for like weapons, and I'm like, fuck.
All you've got is like some regular clothes and no armor.
I'm like gesturing to come over here, like, come on, you're next.
Oh wait, shit! I never. Hold on. Oh fuck! I never
I'm
told
fucking
Polish.
freaking out right now. I'm backing up.
Like, come on.
Fuck you!
Alright.
Aprix is sitting and watching.
You want to go, Aprix? Seemed to be fine right here. Nothing seemed to be happening.
From what happened
like
last time, to
lightly
be honest.
tapped the body with my
From what
foot.
happened last time, I prefer to go first, actually. Yeah, so Aprix is gonna walk up.
Okay. Autumn,
Fuck!
with what's going on, you feel eyes on you.
What? I'm gonna wave to Autumn before he does it.
I'm
Puts hand behind head, hand in front of chin. snaps neck.
Oh my god.
Aprix, there's a horrible crushing pain in the side of your neck, and everything exuberates around you, and you wake up, and then you kind of just make a con save.
Oh
Wait,
no.
Oh,
They don't puke.
perfect. I can't save.
You just start vomiting on the ground. Just all of this gunk coming out of your face.
Wait, is it the berries?
It's the berries, yeah.
Oh, the berries.
Oh boy.
You're a dumb boy.
Okay.
Alright,
At this point, I'm fucking holding myself and crying.
You
Did
feel
Autumn see me? Wait.
you feel watching eyes on you, Autumn.
I'm gonna look around.
Parlish. The fires begin. In the far, far distance of this black expanse, a slow burning flame starts to stretch across the horizon.
What the fuck is happening, Parlish? Why'd you kill them?
That's my ticket out. I started walking over towards the fire.
Kill my no. Tutt.
I'm gonna run after him.
Alright. There's something on your leg that's stopping you, and you trip and fall forward.
I'm trying to kick it off.
Alright, you kick it off,
Can
and with
I? Can
each
Lorna
motion,
try to wake up?
you
Tutt?
see like a spark of yellow appearing underneath you as tentacles slowly start wrapping tighter around your leg.
Can I wake her up? Can I be like shaking her and stuff, trying to wake her up?
You shake awake Tutt here. You shake away. You shake awake Autumn. Autumn, you're still in the black expanse.
What? What?
Yeah.
What? No, no.
Polish, we know this all too familiar.
What
we
do
know
you
this.
What do you want? best I got. Don't judge me.
Hearing her like screaming, I'm gonna walk back over towards her.
Lorna is gonna poke her. Like, what?
Get off of me. Just pushes your hand away. And Parlish,
Lorna slaps her
you
across
can-
the face.
you
That
can
doesn't
see-
sound like Autumn.
you can see like with everything, every time she moves her legs to kick, you see this form outlined in a yellow light with every kick, looking almost like a melted candle.
Can I try and find the totem? Oh, the box?
Yeah, you can start searching, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start searching.
So you look through and you find a box, and Lorna just kind of slaps Autumn, and Autumn just kind of glares daggers at her.
My head was on the box, on the bag, wasn't it?
Yeah. Without any issue, he's like, Aprix, you reach there and you find a box. And you open up and look inside and you see the totem and it's red hot.
No. Okay, if actually, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait a bit.
Bruh.
Why are you waiting? Why are you
So,
Doesn't know what to do.
in the blackened space with the yellow outline of a melted candle with tendrils seeking around it, you start to see teeth forming through the light and a large eye staring down directly at Autumn. What do you do, Parlish?
I'm gonna go over there and like try to grab out Autumn.
Grab and throw.
Alright, so you're going towards Autumn, and Autumn, you see Parlish rushing towards you.
No, 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 no.
Ah, shit, you're whining.
You're
Oh God, I'm
at
being traumatized.
You're at Autumn's side, and she's clawing at the blackness as she's slowly being dragged away from you.
Alright, I'm gonna like grab her and like pull her away from whatever's pulling on her.
All right. So there's a taut moment where you feel like there's something pulling back, and then Autumn, as you look towards Parlish, you see a huge maw of teeth looking like needles, razor sharp, clamp on top of Parlish, and you see his body almost completely severed. Parlish, you wake up. Roll a con save.
Oh god.
The berries.
Oh,
And that one.
Parlish, immediately tied up, you just start vomiting, and it falls back into your face, and your face is just getting covered in vomit, and you start moving to the
Well,
side.
Arnell goes over to Parlish and like.
I'm just gonna like turn her over, and just like try
Yeah.
to vomit out the side.
Nice.
Arnell comes over and like unties you and keeps an eye on Autumn that is suspicious.
She starts getting
Polish
up.
is awake.
Arnell
Polish is
quickly
awake.
unties Parlish and steps in front of Autumn.
Alright, I'm gonna ask Polish, is there fire again?
I'm gonna instantly grab the box, go into my bag, and start dumping the water into it.
All right. Immediately, all of you see Autumn as she was walking towards with narrowed eyes, just grip onto her eyes and just start screaming out at all of you, and then writhing backwards and falling onto the ground, kicking and screaming while holding her eyes.
Arnell's gonna hold her, but also cover her mouth so she stops making so much noise.
All right. And in the dream, Tutt, as you're being dragged by this creature, you see its visage start to like melt almost and start to form into nothingness. And then there's chains sparking out from the blackness far away from you that start rushing in your direction like javelins.
Oh fuck. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna sit there like a deer in the headlights.
You sit there as you see this happening, and every single of the 9 separate spears of chain all pierce through you at once.
Have that happen before.
You feel the horrible pain of the stabbing as your life slowly falls out of you. And then you wake up, and you have a horrible pain and heat in your head.
Alright, first thing.
That ought to do it.
Arnell gives her a big
Good
hug.
morning.
I hug back, and I'm shivering.
Like,
I love how
dump
me and
the
Polish
water out
just
of the
know what's
box.
going on.
And then just close the box, and then put it back in my bag, and then just fucking carry on.
I'm sorry, what the fuck?
Arnell glares at Parlish because he's like making stuff and like making jokes. She assumes that he knows something about what's happening and doesn't like it.
I'm gonna dump the water onto my face and start cleaning off the vomit.
Alright. It's not too difficult. The smell kind of sticks.
That's alright.
Yo.
So there's a creek by, yeah?
There's a small stream running by near here, yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go bathe.
Right. Parlish starts walking off towards the stream.
After that experience, he's just like, oh, gotta go path.
You don't understand, I've been dealing with this for years. It doesn't even faze me anymore.
So,
It's getting a bit new, but like, it's...
I'm gonna guess not great sleep then.
Oh my god. I saw you guys. They Harlish killed you and oh my god.
Arnell takes her hand and puts it on her neck, and her neck feels normal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She does that.
I'm just fucking freaking out. I don't like this one bit. Nope.
I'm drinking some water.
Tasty.
I'm gonna sit down.
Like an
Oh my god, stop.
There's like an acidic ting in the back of your throat that you just start to clear up with the drink. And Parlish, slowly you start to cleanse yourself of the stink of vomit and drugs in the stream.
Okay.
Did any vomit get on me? Or...
No, you were up and out. You vomited on the ground next to Parlish, but he didn't vomit on you.
Okay, good.
No, I just vomited on myself.
Alright. Now I was
Poor
just
bitch.
asking for when I vomited. Alright, so... Yeah, I'm just sitting there, not doing anything.
Yep.
You guys
Happens, you know?
need anything?
Okay, I'm starting to calm down now, and I just kind of get up and I'll wobble over to the caravan and just sit. I'm done.
Lorna looks at Grakon and shakes her head, but like nods in appreciation and goes into the field to try to see if she got anything in her trap.
To see if she got anything in her trap. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you walk off and you look through and you can see like some struggling movement of a rabbit trapped there.
Okay, I take it out of my traps.
It's alive at the moment, although
yeah, I got
horribly
PTSD. It's
wounded.
terrible.
Oh.
What, did something get to it?
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on it.
You're gonna cure it?
And then
Yeah, I want it to not be in pain when I kill it.
Take it out of its misery.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, but it's in pain right now, and I would rather it not be.
You put your hand
Kill it.
over its injuries and heal, and it starts to heal over. And the rabbit just like moves its head.
I have it grabbed by the back of the neck, by the way.
Okay. It starts to just wiggle a little bit and try to move around.
And then slice it through.
Yeah, Lorna. I feel so bad though, because she loves animals, but she also grew up in a forest. Ugh. Yeah. So she takes a a piece of her short sword and stabs it through the rabbit's neck.
All right. It makes a single wheezing squeak noise as its life is drained from it, and it bleeds all over the ground in front of you.
Alright, I bring it back and I take the hunting trap back.
All right. Grakon sees you coming with a rabbit. Oh! Fresh meat's always a good thing.
She starts skinning it.
Hold on,
Oh.
out of character. Was
Oh.
anybody else?
Bring up the fire a bit so we can have it for breakfast. He starts like blowing against the cinders and putting some more tinder on there.
Is anybody else affected by the idol?
Freaking everyone. What do you think?
No, I mean
what
like
about the
the caravan. Like, let's say the kobolds.
No!
All I'll let you know, Parlish, is that you saw papers fluttering in the dream.
Ah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. As soon as I heard paper, I was like, oh fuck.
Alright, Lorna gives Grakon the meat and goes in the caravan to check the kobolds.
They all seem to be sleeping soundly.
What?
Oh.
Lorna shakes them all awake. Oh.
Right.
No.
So, you wake them all up and they're all just kind of groggy and don't say anything as you rouse them all. Anything else?
I'm gonna make sure that it's them.
I mean, I'm not really sure how you would do that, so you'd have to describe what you do.
I asked them I asked them what they want to see.
You hear the object from Compendium, Cod, and then Art. Com and Cod are relatively sound as they think about it because they've now seen the ocean and they're scared of it. They just kind of shrug, and then Art says, mountains.
She hugs them tightly.
Alright. I'm surprised you could draw it that quickly, Tutt.
Huh? Oh. Yeah, that.
Where?
In
Need
place.
more tendrils than me being chopped in half.
Apric's just waving as Polish breaks his neck.
The wondrous exploits of Parlish's dreams.
Parlish, I'm going to murder you at some point during this
part. The best part. Apex just waving.
It's like,
It's like,
goodbye, friend. And then,
Bye.
yeah.
Parlish, do you just keep the idol in its box?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you looking at it at all or nothing at all?
Mm.
He knows.
Okay. So, with that, you're all there. Dracon's starting the fire. You have the rabbit mostly skinned as the kobolds are rousing from their sleep. Autumn is calmed down. Crick is just hanging out.
Yeah, shit. I thought that the fucking caravan would be far enough away. But apparently not.
Some of
Wait,
it,
maybe it was.
some of
Oh,
it got tainted. Some of it didn't.
Can I wait? So, what's the fuck? I keep getting called the mini polishes.
The mini
Kobolds.
Kobolds. Okay.
They're all
Um,
inside the caravan
weaklings.
near the back.
What about the one that was on Polish's back?
One that was on
Did he,
Polish's
like,
back?
sneak around with that?
You don't know where he is.
Oh,
That's.
He's on his back again.
Okay.
No.
Can I look around like where we all camped?
Can look about, yeah. I'll say roll investigation.
Please don't fail me. Thank you.
You see a very small, deep gray form slowly stepping very quietly towards Parlish as he bathes.
What?
I'm gonna start sprinting. I'm sprinting towards them.
Okay. So, pretty quickly, as he doesn't know that you've spotted him, he's just kind of peeking over the ledge, staring at Parlish as you approach him.
Okay.
What do you do?
He's gonna kill himself if he attacks. Like, oh my god.
How far away is Polish?
Parlish is a solid, 10 or 20 feet away in the water.
Alright, I'll first off, I'll call out to Polish. Because I'm assuming I haven't reached him yet, and I'm still running towards the kobold.
So,
Alright.
the moment that you call out, Grim turns and looks at you, and you can see his face is all flushed, and then he just scrambles up and starts running back towards the caravan.
Alright. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure he wasn't gonna do anything to Polish, but
Yeah.
once Polish is... I'll just wait until Polish is done bathing.
I'll just give you this with your general insight. I'll send you a message.
Detective Aprix.
Detective Apex on the case.
Oh.
He saw a dragon dog.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Okay then.
Among that, you're not sure whether or not Grim could be gripped by this.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'll just...
Oh god. What if I mix
No.
the ring and the idol together?
Oh
And
no.
become one
Yikes.
ultimate weapon.
Yikes.
That's what I call a big yikes.
Hey man, you could try anything you want.
The ultimate weapon of mass destruction.
The idol just turns into glass.
Do a giant glass, fucking beholder.
No, dude, it fucking it melts the glass.
So,
and
Okay.
in the meantime, what is everybody up to now?
I'm chilling in the caravan. I'm done for today. I just want
Straight
to go.
whacking it. Wait, hold on.
Straight whacking it, are you?
Whacking it.
Whacking it over there in the stream.
No.
While Aprix is watching.
I didn't... Hey, I never said I was watching.
making eye contact.
Oh my god.
Stirring contest.
What's better than this? Just guys being dudes.
God, what the hell? Ugh.
It's not gay if you're just staring directly into each other's eyes.
If you break eye contact, that's when it becomes gay.
Okay, what is
Yeah.
everybody doing at the caravan, though?
I'm chilling. I'm just going to be calming myself down with the kobolds.
Yeah, Laurenel's gonna,
playing-
after making sure the kobolds are okay, she'll go next to Grakon again.
I'm
And
just
you've
gonna
got,
be
like,
playing the lute.
Your rabbit there.
So,
I gave it to him to take care of.
give me a sec here.
And he pulls out like a small metal, like bent metal thing, and he just puts it over the fire.
Well, the best I can do for rabbit stew, but it'll do.
She nods.
He starts like just taking some of his extra rations and dumping it in, and putting some of the rabbit as he like cuts it with a knife.
Need some water as well.
And he heads towards the stream.
Oh no, run.
I'm gonna go to the stream too and see if I can catch any fish with my bare hands.
Okay. So you head over to the stream. You see Aprix just hanging out. You see Parlish also in a form hanging out.
Okay.
He's just bathing in the stream.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to catch fish.
Okay.
I take out my fishing tackle stuff and I cast a line.
All right. Roll survival with advantage, and Grakon's just gonna grab a good amount of water in his hands and go back to the stew. All right. Roll a d4, please.
4.
Zero. 1. That's unfortunate.
Can it be a big boy?
Yeah, it would be a pretty big fish. You get a
It's
size.
a big boy.
You get a pretty sizable fish, and as it's coming towards you, dash your hand and it just tries to eat your hand, and it's like flopping around on your arm.
All right, great. I leave it as is, and I go and back to Grakon with a fish on my arm.
All right.
Oh, do you want to put that in or save it for some other time?
Dear God, not again. Not the fucking fish.
He says, "Save."
Okay.
Because he knows
Just
he doesn't like fish.
He grabs
but
onto
we
the
might need to.
grabs onto the fish and holds it up, and it's all flopping, and he just kind of punches it in the face, and it stops.
Oh,
Ah,
Brutal.
yikes!
I
a man
don't-
who knows what he's doing.
I don't really have anything else. But do you want it salted or preserved or?
Hello.
Well, Laurenel takes the fish and eats its eyes.
Ugh. Ugh.
She looks at him and like shrugs, like, "What?"
You
What's
know,
your problem?"
I'm not one to go against your customs.
And he takes the fish back and just goes over to the back and finds like a small area filled with salt and just puts the fish in.
Wow.
You do you. I'm not judging.
She like cocks her head. She has no idea what that means.
Nice.
She
So-
doesn't.
If we just give it a bit, the rabbit stew will be stewing.
Laurenel makes a face that's like, yeah, probably as close as you're gonna get to like a smile.
Fair enough. He covers up the makeshift pot and then just.
Can I go see if I can find some veggies?
You can, yeah. I'll say like run around finding any wild vegetables.
Yeah.
Roll,
Yeah.
roll another survival check, this time without advantage.
Ah, thanks, Dad.
What did you just say?
I said big sad.
Okay. I thought you said thanks,
Did
Dad.
you think I called you a name,
I,
sweetie?
I thought
No.
you said thanks, Dad, and I was like, what?
I
Yeah,
thought that as
that's fine.
well.
No. I saved that for when we're in.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I don't actually say that, guys. Come on.
Alright,
Come on.
so
Come on.
going about, you're able to find some nettle leaves and bushes, and there's some wild carrots.
Oh, carrots, yes.
A couple of like dandelions and stuff. It could all be added in.
Okay. I bring it back to Grekon to let him pick what he thinks would flavor it best.
Okay.
He picks all of it up of your hand, kind of roughly crushes the carrot into bits, and then just throws it all in.
She nods.
We can probably save a good amount of this for the rest of the day, so we'll be set with this.
She nods.
With the bowl situation, anybody have bowls?
No.
Laura now takes out a bottle.
You know what? That'll work fine.
Really?
Use your hands,
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
pussy.
Into the fire.
Yeah,
Laura now takes out
I
a
were
water
you.
skin and a bottle.
All right. So, after sitting there for quite a while, eventually rabbit stew is made with chunks of meat and veggies and dandelion and nettle. With rabbit and meat. It's all mixed together. Parlish, you're all cleaned up, and I assume you're out of the stream now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Aprix and Parlish come by to this cacophony of scents, from rabbit to rehydrated beef to just greenery, just wafting out of this makeshift shield-like pot.
I think I'm gonna be good.
All right.
He opens it up, and it
that's
just
delicious.
loads of steam comes out. You see, like, all of the different meats all just bubbling with it.
All right.
He fishes through his pat, and he has a small wooden carved bowl, and he just scoops up some.
There we go. Hot.
But Laurenel uses Druidcraft to send a puff of wind so that his bowl is.
Oh,
How do I?
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that was a bone. Tasty.
Oh, gross.
Well, Laurenel searches for bones. She likes.
There are bones with, like, meat on them that you can pick the meat off of while eating. Alright. So an amount of that rabbit stew is saved for the trip, and Crick starts prepping the horses to go again. Do you wish to do anything before you set off for this next day?
I'm just gonna really quickly talk to Polish.
Alright.
Polish.
Hmm?
You remember in the dream, did you see the paper at the start?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, do you know where that, the cobalt on your back went?
No. Last time I saw it was in the carriage when I put it down.
Well, I'm thinking that the cobalt was in the dream. I'm not sure if, like, anything happened to him, anything weird happened, just, like...
I'm gonna
letting
reach
you
into
know.
my bag and, like, pull out the box and then, like, open up the box.
You hear this kind of whistling sound in your head.
I'm gonna close the box and, like, look around.
And it just ends.
Pardon me, but
But
what
open
the
back up.
fuck?
Make a perception check, please, Parlish. Off at the front of the cart, you see, hiding away, the deep gray form of Grim peering at you with, like, a flushed face. Just kind of happy. And then you make eye contact, and you just kind of see his face go red for a second. He goes around. You can't see him anymore.
What?
You might be right, but I don't know how to get him out.
I mean, I'm not saying he's still in there, because remember, we saw the paper.
Well, I mean, why else would he be attracted to it?
I don't know if he... Okay.
Usually they're still in when they're attracted to it. I'm gonna grab some of the rope that I have and like tie it around the box.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if he was attracted to it because he was, when you were in the lake, he was looking at you in the lake.
I had it over there too.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then after I tie up the box, I'm just gonna put it back in.
All right. Anything else that needs to be done before you start heading off again?
No.
All right. So with that, Grakon gets up on it, and Crick starts.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I had a thing.
What's the thing?
Okay, so before we go, I use Animal Messenger, find a nice, cute bunny, and I send a letter to my wives again and have the kobolds sign it.
All right. You find the nearest bunny to do this to. The kobolds will sign your letter, and you can write it to me at some other time if you wish. And the bunny just jumps away and starts. It's just streaming away with a small bit of the steamed vegetables from your stew.
Yay.
Little
Swimming
bugger.
across the.
A
fucking-
morsel of food is the material of this.
Yep.
So
I see.
it just starts dashing off into the distance. With that, Grakon gets on. The kobolds all jump up into the back. You all ready yourselves, grab your things, put out the flames, and jump into the cart. Crick whips it, and the cart starts heading off along the road to Cottlereach. And given how late it is, that's where I'm going to end today's session. A bit earlier than normal.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. I'm sorry. It's 2 a.m. Dude.
Yeah.
I just want to go to bed.
I'm tired right now.
But that was a great session, Dev.
Oh, I did. I fucking loved it.
So,
I
Though I wanted
especially love the
more
part.
people to be affected by the idol.
Yeah, no. I was
Bro,
ready for
literally
that.
almost everyone was affected by the idol. What do you mean?
No, but all together.
That'd have been
I'll
so
take
much
that.
better.
I wish Grakon was in the dream.
he didn't sleep.
Yeah, he didn't sleep at all.
Is he okay?
You will find out next session.
I am writing down that he needs to take a nap.
Alright, so, to those that are watching or have been watching for the entirety of the stream, thank you. I know that you're there, Alex, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, Alex.
Thank you,
way to be
thank you so much for
gay.
watching to the end. And I saw that message you sent, and it perfectly encapsulated Tutt's thing there. So thank you. I'll show it to you in a sec. But thank you for watching. Hopefully we'll be able to have this session next week, but I'll have to check through a bunch of stuff. I've realized that my thing stops it from posting these on Twitter. So once I have the video actually up, I will actually post that I have it up on Twitter. So be aware.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for watching. We'll hope to see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.